Hey folks, we should be live. Tell me in the chat if you can hear me and see me. Testing, testing. You can probably tell I've got a bit of a new setup because I rearranged my office, which is thrilling, isn't it? But yeah, so I didn't really... I honestly, right, I've been reading through the drama surrounding MythCon recently, and I can't make a video about it because I want to be a professional about it. And if I want to be a professional about it, it means I can't say anything in advance. Really. Tell me in the chat if you can hear me and see. So yeah, it's frustrating. I've got a bit of a new setup. I'm not gonna lie, it's frustrating, but I will. I'll talk about something else. But I'll tell you what. One of the things that annoys me is being accused of not being able to have a dialogue in good faith. That is the only thing that's actually annoyed me. False charges from Dan Arell of what was it? Plagiarism and fraud didn't bother me at all because no one's ever accused me of those things. See, you can say, can we get a little more gain on the mic? But unless I know what that means, the answer's no. But I think that should do it. Tell me if that's any better, chaps. Ah, Guardian, nice to see you. Please come to Berkeley. Maybe I'll make the drive if you come. The only thing that's not, the only thing preventing me at the moment is whether it's actually going ahead or not. See, I don't actually know. Great. Yeah, I don't actually know whether it's on or not. If it's on, I'm happy to go. Go down and cause some trouble. Oh, fucking... Did I not put like a speed thing on the chat? So yeah, what's going on? What have I missed? I've been busy rearranging my office. It's more hassle than you might think, actually, I've got to say. Boobs in 2017. Base Mama, you're a star. And yes, I do approve of boobs in the current year. Nazi right-armed bandit, the LARP is real. Oh, what? Nazi right-armed bandit, what are you talking about? Set up a Patreon already? I have one already. I'm sexy as fuck, thank you. You're no longer allowed to call people autistic. Oh, I'll tell you what, I'm not allowed to call people retarded either. Do you know that? I got in trouble from the atheist folks. Surprisingly echoey in the way I've changed things now. What happened with that? Didn't want echo. What do I think of Boris Johnson? I think he's very amusing. The current year is 2016. Well, I think the current year is just whatever year we're in, isn't it? But, right, okay, so I haven't really got any particular subjects. I'm getting the PewDiePie office look, am I? Let me have a look at my camera. Kind of, actually, yeah. What Warhammer army would you play? Well, I used to play Chaos. I quite like Tyranids. And nobody's allowed to use hard R's in my chat. Hard R's have been outlawed. Okay, so I've got a little something. Hang on a sec. Boom. Right, so this is an SJW man who appears to have completely lost the plot. And I think this is something we're going to see more of going forward. Hey from Moscow, Sargon, you should definitely come. All 10 people who understand English love you here. Well, I would love to. I would absolutely love to at some point.
How free are you? How free am I? I'd be a lot freer if people like you were put in prison as retaliation for the collective crime of racism, anti-Semitism, misogyny, and homophobia. All you fucking God-botherers are war criminals.
Just want to point out that none of those things are actually crimes. At least not in America. Just look at these things, the collective crime of these things that are not illegal.
And liars and charlatans.
They're not crimes either.
Atheism forever.
this a Vettian tryout?
Did he just say atheism forever? I mean, I'm an atheist and I have literally no spiritual side at all. I don't believe in anything that's not physical, anything not phenomenal. And I would never run around and scream atheism forever. That's cringe. I imagine he'll be at MythCon. I'm sure we'll have a reasonable discussion. Sargon is an African-American member of the Central Intelligence Agency who becomes bioluminescent in locations with insufficient photons. That's actually true. There are many papers written about it. Why is it not on your actual livestream channel? Because it's just some bullshit. Just some bullshit. There's nothing important, nothing interesting. Just bullshit. Did I see Trump hitting Hillary with a golf ball? No, should I? Someone send me a link somewhere. Although I don't know how you're going to be able to do that these days. But yeah, the man has no shoes or pants. He's clearly got problems.
No, this is real. I'm throwing back everything you dirty goyim have thrown back at us. Hitler was a Christian. He killed Jews because his non-existent God told him to.
That's not the reason why Hitler wanted to kill the Jews, actually, my friend. Hitler wanted to kill the Jews because he thought they were destroying Germany. Thought it was a Jewish Zionist... Well, not, he wouldn't have called it Zionist, just a Jewish plot. I don't think it was anything to do with Christianity, my friend. You lunatic, but nice bringing that back up with Hitler. It's quite impressive. Nothing to do with Hitler. Oh, hang on, I'll be back in a second. Sorry about this. Hey folks, sorry about that. Right, yeah, Hitler, well done. we are, what are we, like a minute into this and we're already at Hitler? So where's this going to go from here? Let's see.
Hitler was a practicing Catholic.
He was also a vegan, or a vegetarian at least. Dog lover. Patriot. I believe he sat in chairs from time to time as well. I mean, there are so many things that Hitler did that so many other terrible people do.
Hell, I even found on the internet a picture of a Nazi swastika. It was made by the Nazis, and it had a cross on it. It said, "God is with us," in German.
Yeah, no shit. Literally everyone thought God was with them. I mean, literally every single person in all of history, when they were undertaking some endeavour, they would tell themselves that God was with them because it made them feel better, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, so don't give me that whole crap about Nazis.
I can't believe I'm defending a fucking Christian. This is the thing, right? I'm anti-religion. I don't like religions. You know, I'm not spiritual. I don't like religions. But just like, this is totally uncalled for. Guy with the sign, whatever's on the sign, I don't even care what's on the sign. He can have whatever he wants on the sign, and he's allowed to. You flipping out? I mean, where are your shoes, man? What are you doing? You look like a loon.
You know what? Atheism is apolitical. Stalin was an atheist, but you know who else was
Atheism is apolitical? You're politicizing it right now. Atheism forever.
an atheist? Ayn Rand. So atheism has got nothing to do with politics, but only about the facts. And the fact is, you look up in the sky, and you know what you see? Sky, clouds, and the sun. Fly up in a plane over the clouds, you see more sky, more clouds, more sun. Ow, and I really don't fucking appreciate your medication claim. It's because of you people also got effective drugs banned. It's because of you people that just say no crap. Medicinal marijuana works. Psychedelics work. Look up the research. It was suppressed.
Well, they get you high if that's what the point is. But look how agitated he is. He's just standing there with a fucking sign. You don't have to agree with it. You don't even have to read it. You lunatic. Have I heard of fright supremacy? No, I haven't. I can't say I have. Hey Sargon, how are you doing today? Oppressing minorities with unkind thoughts. Yeah, I have. I was told it was women that I was oppressing, and with unkind thoughts. Then I pointed out the women aren't a minority, and you know how you can imagine how that went. But streamers fake news. What's going on? What? Sorry, Guardian just messed me about something. So yeah, what did I miss? I hate when terrorists bomb London, and it distracts me with how racist PewDiePie is. Also, why is Holocaust denial worse than Soviet and Muslim apologists? Good question. I don't have an answer for any of those things. But yeah, I mean, the real issue is, has PewDiePie said the N-word on a stream recently? I think the media isn't giving us enough answers, to be honest. It's amazing these people don't realise they're essentially recruiters for the alt-right. Honestly, it's incredible, isn't it? Especially, I mean, I'm amazed he hasn't brought up the guy's race yet. Have you heard of Turd Flinging Monkey? He does a podcast called The TFM Show, and he has really interesting perspective. I don't recall it off the top of my head. He was trying to walk on water, that's why no shoes. What, do you think he's about to call himself Jesus?
That's because of that Quaker bastard Nixon and his paranoia.
Unhinged rant.
No. I tried debating with you people, but you'll say, oh, God did it, and he's this magical man. He doesn't fucking exist. He's about as real, he's even less real than Mickey's fucking Mouse.
That's true, but, like, why are you getting so worked up about it? And this is why we don't bother debating him anymore. They've lost the argument. Now they just look silly. What are you getting worked up about? Is there any chance you'll get to interview Dick Coughlin? You know, I've asked him, and he has chickened out every time. It's a real shame. I like Dick Coughlin. I find him funny. And I'd like to talk to him. Weren't half a million Catholics killed in the Holocaust? Well, look, we're just going to... You see this rug? We're going to sweep it under it, put it down, and we won't talk about it anymore. And no, it was way more than half a million Catholics. There were like 5-6 million Poles killed in the Second World, in the Holocaust. Well, maybe not the Holocaust, but in the Second World War. So it's not like Catholics were going, you know, going easy on each other. What a time to live in when Naked Ape, formerly an atheist, has now become an Aristotelian deist after reading about postmodernism. That is interesting. I wonder what he read. Go to Berkeley, my dude. Shekels for your legal troubles. Keep up the fight. Thanks, man. Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm going to try. Again, it just depends whether the event happens or not. If the event happens, I'll definitely go. Anyway, let's see if he says anything. I mean, surely this guy's going to just blow himself up at some point.
And frankly, the Disney company is responsible for a lot less death and destruction in this world than organized religion.
Well, that's true, but it's not like Disney are saints, is it?
Are you capable of two-way conversation? Only with rational people, and this you are not a rational people. You're going around spreading lies about atheists while I'm just trying to correct them with the truth, and I have to raise my voice in order to be heard by choruses. You know where I come from? You people ruined the South. I'm from the South. You people are the reason the South is a shithole.
Wow, now it's the entire South that's a shithole. You missed my previous hot take super chat, sorry. If someone can type in the chat what it was, I'll get to it. I'd like to discuss if Western civilization is the same as white supremacy with you and more. Yeah, it is. That's exactly what they mean. They literally mean when they say white supremacy, they mean Western liberal democracies. You know, meritocratic types. Will you talk to Alex Jones? The memes would be godly. Did you hear Gab is being threatened to have their domain seized for violating Australian hate laws? Yeah, I did. I did hear that. They ended up, didn't they end up censoring Andrew Anglin to prevent it happening? And the worst part is, I hate having to defend Andrew Anglin. He seems like... someone pointed out the Daily Stormer is back. And it's like, okay, good. You know, not because I agree with it. I see the Daily Stormer as like a parody of a Nazi site. If you were going to try and make people think Nazism was a joke, then the Daily Stormer is the way to go about it. But it shouldn't be censored, you know. And if you've got a problem with it, you should take it to task. What does the alt-right even mean at this point? Ethno-nationalists for white people. White identitarianism. That's what it is.
You people turned the South into a shithole. You people are responsible for slavery. What?
Wow. Good grief. They're responsible for slavery and he isn't. That's lucky. Good thing he's got a good scapegoat. Heap up all your sins, my friend. That's how the non-religious do it. What they do is they put all of the sins of the past on the religious scapegoat and then send it out into the desert to die. Shut up and take my money. Please don't really shut up. I won't shut up. At least not yet. But yeah, this is just like stupid as shit. It's embarrassing. It's really embarrassing. This is why I don't run around calling myself an atheist as some proud label. Atheists are cringe.
Because I'm trying to stop you from killing any more Jews and any more queers!
How many Jews and queers do you think he's killed? I mean, he's just standing there. I don't think he's got a long history of killing Jews and queers, but I'm going to be honest, I don't know who that gentleman is. Maybe he does. Maybe he should be calling the cops. Have you watched the show Comrade Detective Praise Keck? No, I haven't. AIU sends his regards. Yeah, well, honestly, if he was around, I'd get him on. I tell you what, he did an hour-long video against the Young Turks the other day. It was a fucking masterpiece. It was genuinely good. He has an uncanny understanding of Cenk and Anna. As a religious person who doesn't like to act like a shithead or demand my religion's laws become secular laws, I'd like to extend a hand of, if not friendship, then tolerance for our two viewpoints, Sargon. That's cool with me, Cody. And I mean, it's like with this guy here, he's more than free to hold a sign with his opinions on it. He's doing nothing wrong there, you know, and I think he should be left alone to do nothing wrong. Shekels for you, my dude. My country is lost. Let it stand as an example. Oh, is SEK Swedish kronas, is it? I'm so sorry. What are your thoughts on Ben Shapiro's Berkeley speech? Would you consider having a sit down with him? Yeah, I would. Yeah, I absolutely would. I think we could absolutely hammer out some anti-SJW nonsense. It'd be good. Honestly, I'm really looking forward to the Milwaukee thing. I'm looking forward to talking to Thomas Smith because it's amazing. Their reaction is just, it's honestly like hysterical children. Oh, we don't want to share our toys with these kids. And it's like, okay. I mean, they've done everything to delegitimize us. There's a chap called Seth Andrews, is it? Seth something. He hosts like the Thinking Atheist podcast. And he's just like, well, I didn't know anything about Sargon, but what I've been told means that he must be bad. It's like, listen, I'm pretty sure there's a Thomas Jefferson quote that should really be springing to your mind at this point. You know, a man who has read nothing is better educated than a man who reads newspapers. In this case, than a man who reads the social media feed of Dan Orell and Steve Shives. Fucking hell. I really got my finger the other day climbing, and that's really painful. But, yeah, no, seriously, Seth, these people are full of shit and you know it.
Okay? It's you people who are responsible for the suppression of homosexuality. You people!
Yeah, the atheists are godly. They're perfect and pure, and they've never done anything wrong. Don't ask how Stalin felt about homosexuals. You know, it's not important. It's all the religious, and the atheists have done nothing wrong. Seth Cuck my shit up Andrews. I'm not sure his surname is actually Andrews. I should have checked. But I mean, how much longer can this go on for?
I'm perfectly fine, but I am tired of tolerance of intolerance. No tolerance of intolerance.
Then I shouldn't tolerate you, surely. If we're going to be intolerant of the intolerant, then you've just proclaimed yourself as one of the intolerant. How? I mean, does anyone else see how stupid this is? Hey Sargon, what do you think of the way the politicians keep their personal views secret? Love from Scotland. Well, I prefer that they don't, to be honest. I mean, if you go back like 100 years, politicians were not politicians. Politicians were people, and they said things that generally looks bad in the light of history. But it's only because we're conditioned to think that our politicians should be empty shells corporate husks that are puppeteered by billionaires somewhere else. What do I think of Cernovich, the Donald, and Baked Alaska being sued by the Pepe creator? It's the first I've heard about it. Anyone got a link?
He's intolerant of atheists!
I'm going to be intolerant. By the way, he's intolerant! Yeah, okay, yeah. Well, it looks like everyone's intolerant. Okay? It's just the current condition.
I don't tolerate lies, and neither should you! This is a place of learning, not superstition!
Better shut down that gender studies course then. Christ.
Tolerance means putting up with things you don't like just for the sake of being civil!
Yeah. That ship sailed, didn't it?
Yeah, and they take advantage of it, and they take our rights! I'm from the South, and I'm also Jewish, so I know these people. I grew up around these people. They have no redeeming values whatsoever! I know, and I'm bisexual.
They do have shoes, though, don't they? So, what's going on? Have I seen the new wave of Macintosh videos? They're getting 1 million views each, and they're barely better than Anita's. Yeah, I saw. It's quite interesting how they're being promoted by the progressive press, just widely, aren't they? Very, very similar. I imagine he's pulling strings behind the scenes saying, hey, Mary Sue, hey, Salon, hey, whatever outlet. Can you do an article featuring my videos so I can get some views, please? How do we turn down all the fucking communists in universities? Or is it just as it's always been and will always be like this? It hasn't always been like this. If you're in a university and you're thinking, right, I'm coming up to the end of my degree, what you need to do is stay and do a master's. And when you finish that, you need to stay and do a PhD. When you finish that, you need to become a professor. You, listening to me now, you need to become a professor. You need to sit there, do the work, get to the end, and then say, right, this is what I'm going to do. Because otherwise, it'll be nothing but communists teaching children or young people how to think about the world around them. And someone's got to step up, and it's going to have to be you, my friend. If you hold an entire group collectively responsible for the sins of ancestors, you're forcing them to respond in the way by which they've identified. Yeah, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You can turn them into the thing you're accusing them of. It's a good point. Am I the only one who thinks all the anti-SJW skeptic people hate each other? All the time it seems like TLD, cognitive thought, the satirician, etc. are fighting thoughts. I haven't really been following any drama, but this is quite interesting because Armored Skeptic made a video the other day where he was they were accusing us of being an echo chamber, and he was just sat there he said something along the lines of, "Are you insane? We get nothing but tongue lashings from our fellow skeptic types." And it happens all the time. People are never shy to make a response video to you, and that's true. I don't mind that they're always fighting. It sharpens them, keeps them on edge. I'm lactose intolerant. Wait a minute. Did you see Milo's "I'm defending myself" video on Facebook? It's hilarious. Leftists are complete loons. No, I haven't seen that one. Tech Raptor mentioned you in an article about Destiny 2. Implied you defended hate speech, as usual for journalist hacks. That's surprising for Tech Raptor. I actually thought Tech Raptor were a fairly reasonable outlet. But, yeah, I am defending hate speech. Yeah, people should be free to say things that are hateful. That's what free speech is, I'm afraid. It doesn't cater to your feelings. Right, let's have a look at something else. So, yeah, okay, there. So I showed you the previous guy because he's obviously a case of social justice infecting someone's brain and turning them into some sort of, well, I don't want to say lunatic, but it's hard to think of another way of describing it. I mean, like these people are going off the reservation. The problem is that they've delegitimized everything around them. They don't see any legitimacy to the United States, to its institutions, to anything around them, apart from the university that's pure. But either way, they're looking at everyone and going, right, okay, everyone around me is a bad person. No wonder he's freaking out. No wonder he's like, oh, the collective crime of racism, sexism, homophobia, blah, blah, blah. They're making these people crazy. And so, like, Georgia Tech student Scout Schultz shot dead by police. University police in the state of Georgia have shot and killed an LGBT student activist, sparking an inquiry. They encountered Scout Schultz, 21, outside a campus dormitory in Atlanta after a call of a person with a knife and a gun. Schultz refuses to obey commands and advances on them, and a family lawyer says Schultz was holding a closed multi-tool. Let's see.
Come on, man, drop the knife. Come on, let's drop it. Drop it. No, drop the knife. Drop the knife. Drop the knife. Drop the knife, man. Come on. Nobody wants to hurt, man. Drop the knife. Drop it. What's going on, man? What's going on here, man? What are we doing here? Drop it. Speak! Do not move. What's your name? Do not move. What's your name?
Well, wasn't cooperating in any way, shape or form, and if they're advancing on them with a knife or something in their hand that looks like a knife, what do you expect? That cuck is high on crack, holy shit, he's just pathetic and serves only to strengthen the argument of actual clerical authoritarians. That's true. The US Democratic Party is responsible for extending slavery, establishing Jim Crow, laws, lynching, and fighting against civil rights, etc. Today they're spreading lies of white guilt and everyone is racist. Great party. Yeah, it really makes me laugh when the Black Lives Matter group encounter the KKK, and then you have like the militant wing of the Democrat Party from 100 years ago encountering the militant wing of the Democrat Party today. It's just something about the Democrats, I guess. As Gen Z ages, do you think guys with smartphones and YouTube pundits will kill TV news and left propaganda? The colleges will get cleaned up. We'll definitely kill TV. I don't know about cleaning up the colleges, though. That only happens if we make it happen. Seriously, chat. Who's in university right now? Because I bet you sat there thinking... I'm going to get the fuck out. Someone's like, what about non-lethal force? Well, these are American cops, aren't they? You know? This person surely knows that American cops are trigger happy. You know, they're most concerned about their own safety. I agree. I mean, I would rather see them try non-lethal methods, but it's American cops. Why are you so thick? Because I lift. But yeah, seriously, if you're in university, you need to stay there. We need to take over the universities. It's going to be a lot of work, a lot of hassle, but Western civilization wasn't built with no effort whatsoever. It was tough. If we want to reclaim it, we have to do the work. Why is communism not seen as an equal or even bigger evil than Nazism? Oh, because there wasn't a racial component to it, I guess. And racism is the greatest evil of society. I suppose. You know, like I don't know. I mean, there's what I love is when they're like, "Oh well, communism isn't inherently bloodthirsty." It's like, yeah, fuck it is. How the fuck do you think you're going to appropriate all of the property of the entire country? You think there isn't going to be any resistance to this? You think the capitalists aren't going to be lined up and shot? Fucking, it's baked into the ideology that someone has to die. But so yeah, with this, Schultz, who identified as intersex and preferred to be referred to by the pronoun they, was a president of the Pride Alliance at Georgia Tech and politically active in progressive causes. Yeah, see, this is... I'm absolutely certain what this is doing is the same as the Cathars. It really is. It's making them believe they live in an evil world. And if you believe you live in an evil world, then you are under moral obligations to try and change it. And you are supposed to try and do something. And I'm sure that it is going to be getting to the point where these people literally, like with the other guy freaking out. What are you having a freak out in the middle of the street for? What's happening? Well, I'm convinced there are I was going to say demons everywhere, but racists everywhere. And sexists everywhere. So, okay, well... Are there? I mean, or is it the problem that's you? No offence, but you don't look like you lift. Fuck off. How did I get thick if I don't lift? Fuck you talking about? I don't look like a lift. Get bent. Insects is real. You can't just fucking identify as it. Fuck me. Do a video on the German election. Honestly, I don't know enough about the German parties. I imagine Kraut's going to do a video on the German election, and I imagine that'll be worth watching. Do I have a plan on making a video on the differences between the continental West and Central Europe mentalities? I'm more interested in the continental Europe, sort of the French and German perspective on reality compared to the English one and the American one. It's very different, and I think it's the source of all of the complaints that we have. Lewis Hammond, notice me daddy. Hey man. So yeah, I think that's the problem, and I'll probably do a video on that. Tasers only have a range of 15 feet and are only one shot and can be blocked by heavy clothes. Someone with a knife can close the distance under 21 feet, probably. Are you going to do more work with the ominous parallels? All the best from Alaska, and keep up the good work. Thanks, man. Try and keep warm up there. Yes. Right, okay, so yeah, okay, I'll give you a quick update on what I've been reading. So, I noticed that H Bomber Guy found my system of categorizing, I don't know, kind of gay, because it was like multicolored tabs, but these are really useful. It means that I can, if I want to find something, for example, Hegel's worldview, I can just find it and, you know, I've got it right there. It's much easier. So, and I do this for every book. I'm currently on chapter 13 of Vampire Economy. I mean, it couldn't be a better name. The book is aptly named, right? To say that the Nazi economy was a vampire economy it's almost going too lightly on it, because vampires are kind of cool. The Nazi economy was horrific. I also hang on, I'm back. I'm just going to grab. I've got some things as well. So yeah, I got some Wages of Destruction too. Looking forward to getting through this. Although, look at the fucking size of that. Honestly, it's like these fucking authors, and tiny, tiny letters as well. But that's fine. Oh, look, there are some pictures, so it's okay. But no, it's like these authors think that I just have all the time in the world or something. Just for the love of God. But I mean, it's saying that if I'm going over to Berkeley, it's like a 12-hour flight, so I could probably knock through quite a bit of this in 12 hours. But I need to get Vampire Economy finished first. See, this is I'm doing the stream instead of reading at the moment because I just couldn't be bothered. But yeah, okay. So the Nazi economy, right? Really interesting from what I've found so far. It's just really oppressive. I mean, like what I love about it is the way he says corruption was a liberating force to the economy. You know, instead of being bad for the economy overall, it's actually good for the economy overall, because it actually allows people to do business and it gets them I mean, like, raw materials were incredibly scarce. Everything was much more expensive than it had been in the Weimar period, and everything was directly controlled by the government. I mean, you couldn't expand your business if you wanted to, unless the government wanted you to. You couldn't. I don't know. I mean, just like pick something. You know, like pick something, and you will find that the government had to make you. Yeah, you had to go through those. I highly suggest you watch Older Interviews with Yuri Bezmenov. I have done. He's very good. I featured him in a video, in fact. Thanks for the hard work on your main channel and enjoyable shitposting on the Thinkery. Have you ever seen the channel Feminism Keck with Diana Davidson? Yes, I have. Hey Simon, if you want to know about US police tactics and whatnot, there is a police YouTuber who is a big fan, donut operator, who'd be glad to go over stuff if you're interested. I would like to at some point, but I'm a bit bogged down in the subject I'm going through at the moment. Your thoughts on Croughton V's RK selection individual situation? TLD kind of raped them with his latest live stream. I haven't seen that. Also, what happened to Brexit? I'm going to do a video on Brexit at some point. It's been handled badly, to say the least. I don't know anything about RK selection. I'm not a biologist, and I've spent no time looking into it, so I can't comment on who's correct, But it seems, I mean, I don't think Kraut and V are correct on the subject, and I don't know why they're arguing something that they don't seem to be experts on. And I've asked them this, you know, I said to Kraut that he should watch JF's live stream and just go and talk to him. You know, I mean, you can take your... I don't understand why I don't know. I don't understand why people have a problem being corrected. You know, I mean, if I don't know something, I would rather someone tell me I don't know something. Like Sandra guy, right? He's a small YouTuber with, I don't know, like 800 subs or something. But I've known him for years, you know, and I've been watching his videos for years. And I made the video Socialism Explained in Venezuela with memes, and I didn't say that Venezuela was real socialism, because it's not. I said that Venezuela is operating under socialist principles, and so it would be more accurate to call it a socialist country than a capitalist. And so he made a video response, and it was very respectful and very informative, you know. And he said, you know, to be fair, I think it should be called a capitalist country, because 70% of the economy is still private, and up until I think it was before Chavez came in, or maybe it was at the end of Chavez's tenure, the private economy had grown faster than the government owned economy, and so this is why we should call it capitalist. I left comments, you know, explaining why I don't think it's really fair to call it capitalist, because there's no protection of private property rights. There's just, and it honestly, right, it's exactly the same as the Nazis. In fact, they would. I mean, if I had access to the information, I bet I could find in Venezuela loads of examples where political opponents have had their property nationalised, taken by the people, and it's exactly the same with the Nazis. What they would do is go after the sections of the economy that were important, and if you were in an unimportant section of the economy, you were probably safe, but you were probably also just going to be... It's like a giant weight that's just on top of the society, pushing it down and just leeching life out of everything. And like the myth of the Nazi economy is pretty crazy as well. Like the idea that the Nazi economy was like hyper efficient and really good and stuff. I mean, they ended unemployment by conscription. It wasn't that it was an economic miracle or something. What they were effectively doing is burning out their economic system. They were like supercharging it, but at the expense of the system itself and all of the equipment. I mean, they'd have their factories running 24 hours a day, producing military equipment and whatever else. And naturally, this was drastically decreasing the lifespan of the factory, because it wasn't getting regular maintenance. And when it was getting maintained, it was getting replacement parts with sort of subpar replacements. Like, for example, the trains. One of the problems with the trains is that because iron and steel were in such shortage, and they were needed for the war economy that they were effectively operating under, they had to use like brass ball bearings rather than steel ones, and these would end up cracking in the train wheels, and so the trains would have to be replaced. In fact, let me I'll give you the statistics, because it's really, really interesting to see how ineffective the Nazis were, really. And I mean, they were just running everything ragged, and they weren't really producing a great deal more out of it. I mean, think of like any video game when you start pumping in resources to something and you're getting a diminishing return, and it's exactly the same thing. Let me just find the doobly-doo. Why don't I check my notes? Good question. Oh yeah, the stock exchange died. It still existed, apparently, but it was just state-controlled, like everything. It wasn't a capitalist economy at all. And if anyone tells you the Nazis weren't socialists, they were wrong. No, that's state loans. Oh yeah, that's another thing. They had massive amounts of debt. The Nazi economy was heading towards a cliff, and so it needed the war. And that's probably something you've heard before, but it's true. It's really true. So, okay, the decline of railway equipment in Germany. So, in 1929, in the Weimar Republic, they had 25,000 locomotives. By 1938, they only had 22,000 locomotives. They had 660,000 freight cars, and by 38, they had 577,000. And the number of passenger cars were 68,000, and by 38, 61,000. So the railways had actually shrunk in total number of locomotives and cars and whatnot. And goods transported, monthly average in 1,000 tonnes. In 1929, it was 36,000 tonnes. In 1938, it was only 37,000 tonnes. They only got an extra 1,000 tonnes a year, a month, sorry, transported, and they were running these things ragged, and obviously skimming out on proper replacements. It's not an economy. It's like a zombie economy that's just waiting to die. In all seriousness, love you stuff to bits. Wish you all the best. Just want to ask, what do you think should be done with North Korea? I saw the other day. I haven't been following it that closely, but I did see the other day that China weren't prepared to tolerate a nuclear North Korea, which should raise eyebrows. Please spread awareness about the upcoming Saudi protests that will be held in cars and blowing horns after Friday's street protests failed because of tanks and police on the streets. No English articles found. Yeah, you won't find any. What you need to do is blog. I hate to say it, but we're going to have to become the media. Basically, I don't really... Since my suspension from Twitter, I could use Twitter if I wanted, but I actually don't. I like not using Twitter, but the one disadvantage of that is I don't get to see the stuff as it's happening, which is, it's good. But it's good to have. But basically, collate any information you can find and put it in an article, so people have it to reference. Because that will be what YouTubers can use. That'll be most useful for them. They'll be able to make an entire video out of the information you put in the article, and that's the only way to do it, because the media aren't going to do it. When will the extreme elements of the left? When will extreme elements of the left sided with extreme elements of Islam and moderate Islam turn on each other, if ever? The left, they're useful idiots. The Islamists will end up just shooting them in the back of the head. Was demonised by unis, feminists, and LGBT clubs today for suggesting that as crime is inevitable, people should learn self-defence. What a great way to convince more people to join their societies. Yeah, it's pretty amazing how they're so busy ostracising people from their societies, and they wonder why they're not popular. Nicholas Beeson, did you get my email, and will you respond before you live from Wisconsin? Just look for yes or no. Did you send it to my Gmail account? Let me have a look. Right, I have an email here from you. I haven't read it yet, but I will read it and I will reply to you, I promise. Slipping tip into Sargon's G-string, thank you. Well, I better shake it, baby. So if everything goes to shit over there, any plans to flee to the US? Well, what choice do I have? To be honest with you, though, I don't like doing that. I'd rather stay and fight for my country. I would actually rather try and change things here, rather than just flee. I don't like fleeing. Living in Canada, I find the Trudeau government is leaning socialist, especially in the Maritimes where the work is mostly government contracted. Thoughts on Canada's slow socialist evolution? I don't really think you can call it socialist. I think they're just... I think I'd rather delineate between socialist and big government, because socialist is really a principle, or a set of principles. And I don't think... I mean, I'm not aware of the Canadian government appropriating the private property of citizens against their wishes. When they start doing that, then they're socialist. Until then, I think you can just call them a mixed capitalist economy, which, I mean, it's your tax money. Vote for people who are going to reduce these programs, I guess. Are we still playing some Magic when you get to Milwaukee? Can't get hold of you anymore. Dude, email me at sargonovacad100@gmail.com and send me your Skype information, because yes, we are still playing some Magic. I have actually got us some nice fat cigars as well, so we can sit out like, I don't know, we'll find like a beer garden or something, assuming you have those in America. Yeah, we'll just sit out, get drunk, play Magic, smoke fucking cigars, and talk about whatever. Thoughts on the parallels between today's society and the thought police from 1984? Well, that's all it is, isn't it? I mean, like, I'm interviewing Jared Taylor on the 20th, which would be fun. But he seems like a nice chap. But the thing is, like, what's he actually done wrong? You know, it's like he's had thoughts that people disagree with. Okay, well, we disagree, but he hasn't actually done anything. And I'm really sick of the thought policing. Do you think the lack of nationalism is the reason why some countries in Europe have an open border policy, and if so, is nationalism necessary? I think that the problem we have is that the West has managed to raise itself a bunch of overeducated, underachieving progressive types who are essentially, they're what David Rockefeller called internationalists, and he was one of them, incidentally. And they are for open borders, they are for the end of the nation state. They think that their life experience is something that translates to everyone's life experience. They don't understand that there are, like, you know, there are communities in, like, you know, in like, you know, the flyover states in America that are tiny, and they're you know, tiny white communities of poor people who don't know what the fuck's going on outside in the world, and they don't really want to. Their nation to them is like a form of protection. Whereas these people have been everywhere, they've experienced all of these things, they've had a life of privilege and luxury, and they think that that translates to everyone in their country. And they also think that people outside of that is, they think these people are, they're not different in any kind of ideological way. They don't hold a different system of values or anything like that. They're just underprivileged. And they wish to open the borders and let them all in. So that's not going to work. It's going to be ruinous. And you're going to find yourself with, oh, I don't know, a bunch of white identitarians, say, marching through the night in front of Confederate statues with tiki torches, chanting, "You will not replace us," and "blood and soil," and things like that. It basically ends badly, you fucking morons. But yeah, it's a complete lack of self-awareness or understanding of other people is the problem with those. Hey Sargon, love your work, please keep doing it. Also, currently in university taking critical theory. It's actually worse than people know. Yeah, I spent like 10 minutes looking at critical theory one time. I thought, right, okay, I've got a book on critical race theory that I need to read, and I haven't. King Crocoduck keeps getting on my case about not reading it. And if you're watching Crocoduck, I know, I'm really sorry. There's just so much for me to fucking learn all of a sudden. So this is what happens when you take things seriously. You're like, well, I have to actually do the work. You've actually got to do the work. As a Wisconsinner, I hope you have a good time in Wisconsin. Also, Wisconsin is America's beer garden. Wow, that sounds great. That sounds really great. Any chance you might visit us on the East Coast? New York City, maybe? Maybe. Maybe. We will see. Who knows? In before you go full boot. Oh, hi David. How's it going? What's new? Still angry? In before you go full boomer on the Nazis, at least look up pseudo-Erasmus writings on how arguments calling the Nazis left-wing are ahistorical and flawed. Well, you don't agree that the Nazis are left-wing? I don't. On the sort of a political compass, they put them as authoritarian centrist. I think I'd probably be inclined to put them there as well. I wouldn't. I mean, they're not like Stalin or anything, but I would certainly not call them. I mean, the thing with like left and right wing is not really a very useful thing. Do not come to California, save yourself. I've been to California before, and I don't know what Sam Harris has done now. Yeah, right. So I wasn't planning on doing anything big with this stream. I was just I don't know. I was just shit posting, really. I live 20 minutes away from white Trump supporters in rural Ohio that Van Jones was shocked weren't racist. Your assessment of us is spot on. Man, I tell you what, right? I spent a lot of time living with the working class. That's what it is. That's the difference between me and them. Because if I hadn't dropped out of my degree, and I would end up getting a degree in computer science, I'd get a job for like Intel or something. So I mean, there's Intel in the town I'm in. There's an Intel. I was going to say factory, then giant office block and some administrative thing. I'd probably be working there. And doing things that I found insanely boring. And I'm actually really glad I didn't. But it really gave me a lot of experience with the working class that I didn't really get from my family. It was interesting. I mean, my family are working class as well, But I guess they've got like a very positive attitude, and they've almost all worked themselves out of poverty. And my family did come from poverty as well, so I know it's completely possible to work yourself out of poverty. But then there are places where there aren't opportunities, and that's a problem, you know. And the thing is, I don't even know necessarily what can be done, but we definitely need to start giving people. We need to start telling people. Stop telling people that they can't do stuff. Oh, by the way, there's a white supremacy that's keeping you down. There's a thumb on your head from a white man. Fuck off. You know. I mean, that is going to be the most obvious self-fulfilling prophecy ever, isn't it? Support the Democratic People's Republic of Kazakhstan. Free DPRK. That's a good one. Start trending that on Twitter. Centrism is the gateway to National Socialism. God, you're an SJW, Gary. Hitler did 9/11. I knew it. Right. What's good? So yeah, it's a shame I can't talk about the MythCon stuff, to be honest. I would absolutely love to, because and the thing is, right, I'm reading through some of the statements made, and it's all virtue signaling. As what cracks me up is they'll say things like, well, Sean Headnam and Skeptic have just got poor critiques of feminism, and Sargon is just an evil man. And I'm just sat there thinking, right, okay, all right, let's assume that's true. Now let's talk about the critiques of feminism. Oh, we don't want to do that. Oh, right, okay. You wouldn't want to ever admit that there were valid critiques of feminism, right? Feminazi frequency is autistic, Dr. Random Cam. I fucking love Random Cam. The thing is, he made a video the other day that was just like a standard like reply video affair. And he was like, oh, I feel like I'm being lazy making this. It's like, dude, these are your best ones. You're proof that a working class boy done good and can get out there and get his voice heard. We're all proud of you, Sargon. To be honest with you, I'm actually middle class. My dad was working class. My mum was working class. And they're the ones who worked themselves out of poverty and into the middle class. And I'm the product of that. You know, and I know it. You know, I absolutely know it. Sargon is a piece of shit. Oh, come on. Eli Bosnick is in my chat. But yeah, I'm not working class myself, but I'm sympathetic, definitely. And what annoys me though is they don't just want handouts. You know, they don't think that's just, and I don't blame them for not thinking that's just. I don't think that's just. What they want is the opportunity to fucking get ahead, and until they can get the opportunity to get ahead, you can't just throw money at the problem, because they'll just get pissed down the drain. They have to earn it for themselves. It sucks, I know, but it's life, isn't it? What makes someone middle class? There's a range of things. I'm actually really tempted to do a thing on class, because there's not a good understanding of class. Because most people think economic class is, but like class isn't really economic situation. Class is other things about you. And this is why the bourgeoisie at MythCon hate me. Because I know how I'm supposed to act to fit in with them, whereas someone from the working class wouldn't know. And I wouldn't know how to act to fit in with the aristocracy in this country. I would be obviously and instantly out of place. Not just through my accent, but through various physical tells, various social cues I missed and things like this. And they're the same. And I deliberately flout these bourgeois norms, and they don't like it. But the thing is, and this is the big secret, it's all a lie. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's all keeping up appearances. And I can't be bothered with keeping up appearances. Seth. And you know, Seth, from the way that your friends have been reacting. Is that the calm, rational, reasoned debate you were hoping for? Am I doing a Tale of Two Narratives Part 3? I haven't been planning on it. It looks like the stuff in Syria's died down. But I mean, maybe I should. Maybe I should as just... I'm not posh, Jim. Maybe I should as just a sort of closing thing, because ISIS have nearly been defeated. I've got a friend in the alt-right called Vendetta Vidame, and he's a big... He's very interested in what's happening in Syria. He follows it very closely. I'm tempted to... I'm planning to get him on a live stream, but the thing is, I've just been really fucking busy recently. And yeah, it could be interesting. He's a strong Assad supporter as well, which is interesting. But will I do a video about the life, struggle and story of Ayaan Hirsi Ali? Yeah, I might one day, actually. Yeah, it's entirely possible. Have I tried playing The Long Dark? No, can't say I have. If you're in Phoenix, I'll buy you a beer. Well, you say that, but I believe Dave Cullen is doing his free speech conference in Phoenix, Arizona next year. And I don't see why I wouldn't go to that. Sounds like a lot of fun. Sounds interesting. So I may well be in Phoenix. Can you do small videos on philosophy and using moral arguments against socialism, leftism, and more dialectical videos with other YouTubers? Yes, I will. I was on a live stream with JF Garipe. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that correctly. The other day, that was good dialogue. Very good dialogue. I enjoyed it. He was nice to talk to. And he's honest. That's the thing. This is all it needs to come down to. So instead of... all you have to do is address your opponent's arguments, rather than start making accusations of malice on their point. What was the book on critical race theory called? I think it was just called Critical Race Theory. I think it's in my garage at the moment, actually. So I'd have to go find it. But... yeah, I think it was just called Critical Race Theory. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, here we go. Can I put this in the chat? We'll see if I can put this in the chat. Put a link to a Google book in there. But yeah, it's called Critical Race Theory. It's got a foreword by Cornel West. Yeah. Yeah, so I need to get around to reading this. It was huge though, and I put it off because I'm lazy. I'm back, you Jew. Fuck, have some shekels, my dude. Man, I don't have the nose to be a Jew. Too much foreskin. Come speak at Berkeley. I might. Depends whether it's on. I actually have something written that might be good. Hey, he's bearing here, isn't he? Bearing, you cunt. Are you on Skype? Let me see if I can... Bearing, send me a message on Skype, man. Will you do a video on the bigotry of low expectations in the style of your cult video? Probably not in the style of that. I'll be doing... The next thing I'll be doing is a thing about the ominous parallels. I think there's a lot of good information in here, even if... I mean, at the end, where he's promoting objectivism, I don't really agree with certain points of objectivism, so I'm not an objectivist, but the philosophical breakdown leading into it, I think, is important, and I'll go through it. I've got a nice thing written about Plato's Republic, because he traces it a split from Plato and Aristotle, and this, he thinks, formed Western thought. And I think he might be right. Plato and Aristotle are very different in some ways. Have you read On Killing by former Lieutenant Colonel David Grossman? It's one of the few books that fundamentally changed my outlook on history, reality, William Joseph. No, I haven't. I will... You know what? That sounds... I've got an Audible account, but I haven't used it in ages, because I've been getting proper books. Let's see if they've got it. That didn't give me a search. Thank you. They don't seem to have it, and I've got too much regular stuff to read at the moment. But it does sound exactly like my kind of book. So, god damn it, I'm actually annoyed about that. Why insist on naming it English liberal values? England's sovereign control the government up until the 20th century. Monarchies aren't liberal. Because the philosophers were English. That's why. Not the government. And the thing is, there is a distinct difference between the English philosophical tradition and the German and French ones. And I think it's worth differentiating. Because, like, nothing good has come from the continent. The only good jihad is a gung-ho's jihad. I don't know what that is. Oh, you're called gung-ho jihad, right, okay. When I say English, I also mean American. By the way, Bull Moose. Did you know Aaron Moore is bailing on the Myth Information Conference because I will be there? Yes, I did. It's amazing. Amazing how many people I can terrify into fleeing from me. I haven't seen the South Park episode on Charlottesville yet. I need to... You know, I haven't been keeping up with South Park. It's not that I don't like it either. I've always been a huge fan of South Park. I've just got so much on all the time. After spending the last 15 years in the US workforce, what are some ways working class people can make their concerns heard or at least discussed less in lip service to have conversations about it? Good question. Good question. Let me see... I don't know whether you guys are going to be able to hear this, to be honest. Because I don't know whether it's set up correctly. Or whether Bearing will even answer. What a cunt. Literally anyone else is greater than being a fucking German. 2 questions. Why can't Destiny stop talking about you? Because his ass is sore. I tried watching Jeff Holiday talk to Destiny and had to quit because he was talking about you for the first 20 minutes. But... and second, why do leftist liberals mock classical liberalism? Because they're socialists. That's why. They're not liberal at all. And they know it. Where can I read to learn about neoliberalism? Good question, actually. What would I recommend? To be honest with you, there was a really good Guardian article about it. Well, Bearing didn't answer like a cuck. There was a really good article on The Guardian that described it. Believe it or not, good article on The Guardian. Okay, so here's an article on it. I don't know how useful that is. This is the first super chat I've ever sent. Validate me, love you. Hi, Dominic. Dominic John Balcony. I can't pronounce the rest of that. Bearing, you cuck. I can't hear you. Is that... Oh, hello, hello. Can you hear me? Right, okay, you're not... Hang on a second. Technical difficulties, folks. Please stand by. My favourite Destiny stream will always be the one where Jim ripped his arsehole into a million pieces. Well, I think I did better on mine, to be honest. I listened to Jim's, it was pretty good. We didn't get him flipping out. There are some nice clips running around about that. Have you seen the Guardian article about banning trolls from voting? No. I would love to see that. Jacob Rees-Mogg 2020. You know what, right? Jacob Rees-Mogg refused an interview with me. I'm annoyed about it. Well, he didn't personally do it, but his assistant did. Yeah, it would be funny to see, because the Guardian are already panicking about him. They're already... I mean, they've written dozens of shitty articles, just calling him evil, basically. And I'm just going to try burying him. Can we agree the Nazis were socialist? Yes, but they weren't Marxists. But they certainly were socialists. How many millions of subscribers do you think I need to not get snubbed? I want a number, damn it. You say you came from working class roots, but you clearly have a heart of gold. I smell a sign. The working class are not bad people. At all. The problem for the working class is they don't have the luxury of spending the time to sit and think around like the middle class do. The middle class have got more time than they need. And more money than they need. Hello?
Hello.
Ah, I can hear you.
Yeah, how's it going?
Yeah,
I
all
was
good.
sitting there listening to you fucking call me on the live stream. My Skype doesn't fucking ring. It doesn't, like, when people ring me, it doesn't ring. It just does nothing, and it says missed call.
Right, okay. Must be an Australian thing. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I'm joking, it's not really. But yeah, what's new, man?
Oh, you know, be this for that. I just found out that Aaron Ra bailed on that
Yes, he did.
or whatever.
Yes.
What a pussy.
Well, I mean, you know, if I was in public saying, well, you're either a feminist or a sexist, and then some anti-feminist, anti-sexist guy was going to come along and explain to me in detail why that wasn't true, I'd probably bail too. You know, so.
But are you? I mean, you don't really go around like. You don't really promote yourself as an anti-feminist, do you?
I don't. No, not really. I mean, I'm against feminism, but the thing is that calling yourself an anti-feminist means you could be literally anything. I mean, Christians are anti-feminist, Muslims are anti-feminist. You know, Buddhists are probably anti-feminist. You know, it's just not being a feminist.
Yeah, and being an anti-feminist is like being a non-violent. It's you know you can have anti-feminist views, but like you know there's some people that sort of you know slap the label on themselves. I'm an anti-feminist. I've never seen you do that. I mean, sure you speak out against the ridiculous ones, but I mean if he's afraid of being in the same massive room as you with a lot of other people, that's fucking pathetic.
Yeah,
Has he got a blog or something? Has he written? Has he done? Surely he's done an article explaining himself.
He might. He posted on Twitter that he wasn't going to go, and his wife posted something, but I haven't seen anything from him.
Has he really got a wife?
Has he really got a wife? Yes, he's got a wife.
Well,
there's an article on the Acadian Times. Shall we have a look? Hang on.
Oh fucking hell! Okay. That's Willie
That's
Bumblebee.
Christy Winters. It was written by the Acadian Times staff, which means Christy Winters probably.
Oh, it's Christy. Does Christy Winters write articles for that?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'll send you a link. Here you go.
Yeah, cool.
There's. I don't know who it's written by though. Presumably Joe Mendez. Contrary to previous reports, I will not be attending the Myth Information Conference in Milwaukee later this month. And is that a Christy Winters video?
Guys,
Yes, it
This
is.
is going to be a very short video. With
Oh,
just
she's been amazing. She has been fucking amazing with it. She does not want you to go to that. She fucking doesn't want you to go.
But the best thing about it is the fact she's celebrating that people are pulling out, and like a bunch of them are celebrating that people are pulling out, and it's like it's almost like they're trying to destroy your conference, guys from Myth Information Conference. It's like they want to ruin it, and I mean this is it. I can only say that it looks like they want to ruin you because you want to talk to us. And the thing about all of this is right. It's the most incredible thing. We don't hold any particularly outlandish views.
Yeah, no one's going around saying we should be beating our women. Right? It's
Obviously, I mean, nobody's against like women's rights. Nobody's against gay rights. Nobody's against any of these things. We're just against the complete oppressive control of feminism over society. If that's not too much to ask. And I tell you, just even hearing us speak, I mean, they must have no faith in Thomas Smith. And the thing is, the guy who's interviewing me, and he seems like a smart chap, you know, he seems like to know what he's talking about. So, you know, but yeah, so it literally just a short article that says nothing, apart from Aaron Ra's not going.
Did you see that? I did see that that one by Martin Hughes, the blogger.
Oh, the guy, yeah, who's complaining that I did a video about Francesca Ramsey, and he said it was dishonest of me to do a 3-hour live stream refuting his argument. And I was just like, why is that dishonest?
He's insane. I read it while I was there. I read another blog post he did about should we punch Nazis, and it was like he was on acid. It was just fucking all over the place. It was comically bad. You have a look at that when you have a chance. How's this, right? Speaking of arsehole feminists, right? I saw Monday and Matt did a video yesterday about a conference in Melbourne on International Men's Day. I had a look into it, right? I'm going to do a video on this week.
I saw the video as well. I saw that one.
Yeah. So I had a look right into the website and that, and they're blatantly all they've done is just create this front, the Australian Men's Network, you know, that's got the same logo and everything as the Australian Women's Network, and they're saying, oh, this event is being held by the Australian Men's Network in conjunction with the Australian Women's Network. Now, then they're selling all these fucking packages and shit for this thing. You know, there's like a $50,000 corporate package, right? Wow. And you know, it's for the benefit of White Ribbon, which is a you know, violence against women charity type thing in Australia. But so what they're effectively doing is they're putting on a front. They're fabricating an entity in order to get people to this thing in the spirit of, you know, it's International Men's Day, and so they're basically diverting any funds and goodwill from men to women.
It's a bunch of feminists co-opting International Men's Day, isn't it?
That's just such a cunty thing to do. That's such a cunty, dishonest thing to do.
But the thing is, I mean, we can't sound surprised at this point, can we? I mean, there is surely no one on earth who thinks feminists are honest, right? I mean, just like looking at the MythCon stuff, like they're just raw lies, just raw lies. They're saying things that are just not true and are easily checkable. You know, they could just spend 5 minutes on Google, but they don't. There's no skepticism there at all. Sorry, say again.
I haven't followed Christy. You know what Christy's saying extremely closely. What's she saying? What's she fabricated?
Oh, just like there's just loads of different things. Like she will say that I sent rape threats to people. That I, you know, just all these things. It's like, no, Christy, these things are not true. You've just made this up. I mean, I'd have to go through her article to see exactly what, you know, various claims are. But I've seen her make these claims multiple times. It's like, Christy, this is just not true. You know, you are being a desperate culture warrior, and it really is debauching the dignity of someone who calls themselves a doctor. But anyway, when will the extreme elements of the left... no, I've read that one already. I think politicians in the running for major offices will likely avoid interviews that aren't from major media outlets for fear of potential controversy. Yeah, but Jacob Rees-Mogg is probably going to get thrashed by the left-wing media. At some point, he might decide that maybe it'd be worth talking to someone who doesn't just hate him outright. Who knows? What's
this you're reading, sorry?
Oh, just a super chat, sorry.
Oh, right.
But yeah, right, okay, can you... I tell you... Oh, I see Dr. Random Cam's here. Right, okay, I'm gonna get him on.
Yeah, get him on.
Doc, I'm adding you to the call. You better pick up.
Yeah.
Because then I'm going to go get another cup of tea. So I'm going to leave you guys in charge of my stream.
Yeah, good one.
Look at this. I wouldn't even rape you, Sargon. That is a rape threat. How very dare you!
It is too. You can't have it one way, not the other. That's a rape threat. A legitimate rape threat. I'd feel afraid if I was you.
Yeah, I literally won't rape you is now a rape threat. Thanks, Christy. Thanks.
Oh no.
I just can't get over how dishonest it is. But Doc didn't answer. But do you know what was interesting? I was watching a stream by the Mythinformation guys, the Mythicist conference guys, and they were literally like saying like there's this big fear that we're legitimizing them by getting them on, and then they're like, these guys have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, they get millions of views. We can't legitimize them.
That Martin Hughes was going on about that in his blog. That was a big theme in his blog. He said, you know, all about why are we legitimising it. It's like, motherfucker, your blogs get like 30 fucking views. Someone's got like 800,000 subscribers. You fucking idiot. Are you serious?
Yeah, I don't need your fucking validation. I'm afraid, you know, I don't know who you are.
Yeah. Since when is your approval made like mainstream validation?
It's like, do you understand? We're going to start hosting our own conferences, and they're going to be like literally like 10 times bigger than yours. You know?
Yeah.
So, can I get a shout out? Oh, hang on. Let me read your super chat a sec. Can I get a shout out for my burgeoning channel? My wife sings Anti-Far song, a parody of Wind of Change. It would be great if you'd watch it. She's a great singer. My min wage vid rocks too. Okay, that's some guy called Kuntar. So check him out, I guess. Say hi to Bering for me. Hi, Bering. Why does Cenk take corporate money when talking about getting money out of politics and mocks Alex Jones, who generates his own wealth? Well, I think the answer is because he's a giant fat hypocrite. But don't quote me on that. Actually, you can quote me on that. For Bering, I'd like to extend the same hand of hopeful friendship or at least tolerance between religious folks who aren't pushy and atheists. What do you reckon? Religious folks who want to keep it secular, are they tolerable?
Yeah, I don't mind. You believe in whatever the fuck you want to believe in. That doesn't worry me. Just
Worrying
don't push
libertarian Bering, you'll be arguing against the government next. Just checking. Watch Independent Man's video on the Men's Day conference. He goes into more depth. Yeah, I will. I'll check that out. Did anyone?
Independent Man's really good. Yeah, he makes brilliant videos. I'll watch that.
Yeah, I like his lazy Sunday uploads actually, because he uploads things that I'm not saying his other videos aren't good, but I particularly like the lazy Sunday uploads he does because he finds like a good think piece from someone who is making a point in a debate or something like that, and it's always really. I mean, I watched this one with Peter Thiel the other day. My God, that man is woke. He is so fucking woke.
Who's Peter Thiel?
He's the guy who founded PayPal. Billionaire now.
Oh, right. Yeah. I imagine he would be pretty cluey.
Oh, he is unbelievably woke on social justice. I mean, like, watch Independent Man's clip that he put up. And this was 20 years ago. That's the thing. This was 20 fucking years ago that he was just sat there deconstructing social justice point by point by point. And it's like, wow.
Shit.
Yeah, it was great. For your amusement, NPR podcast On the Media is now insinuating that Taylor Swift is a secret fascist because country music fans listen to her. Yes, that makes her a secret fascist. Just like Dr. Randomacam. Oh, hi, Doc. How you doing?
Doctor. Technical difficulties.
God damn it. Technical difficulties, my ass.
Oh, Doc.
Greetings from Italy, Sargon. Any news on the lawsuit? No. When stuff does happen, I will keep people updated.
How is that? If you can elaborate on it, how exactly does that work? I mean, you being in England and her being in America, I mean, she can't.
I would like to elaborate, but I don't want to give my opponent any help.
Yeah, fair enough.
And so it's not that, and that's literally the best way I can describe it.
No, that's fair enough.
Mike, are you here, man?
Come on, Doc.
Damn it, Mike. I love that profile picture you've got as well. Sorry,
how was her video response? She's like, yeah, I'm suing Sargon. I don't care about his kids. I get dick. People fuck me.
I did find it amusing.
I'm happy. I'm happy. I won't cry myself to sleep.
I love the "I'm a beautiful woman" line. It's like, that's just, I mean, I'm not saying you're not a beautiful woman, Akila, but that's pretty cringe, you know.
Yeah.
I searched for On Killing audiobook, found it on Audible US only. Goddamn. That's a real disappointment because that sounds like a really great book.
Do you listen to audiobooks?
Not as much these days. I used to listen to them a lot when I was sat. You know, when I was sat in fucking an office, I used to listen to them all day, every day. But not so much nowadays. Am I going to put on conferences great idea? Yeah, I am. I mean, Dave Cullen is doing one anyway. And he's doing a free speech conference in Phoenix, Arizona next year. He was like, I think 1,000 people will be too many. And I'm like, no, dude. I mean, seriously. I think we can probably organise some good speakers. And it sounds like Dr. Randomacam's here. But I mean, I think 1,000 is a bit small. But I mean, I'm relatively certain we can get quite a few people there. I started university this week, had a look at the political societies. 4 out of 6 were socialist, and 1 was openly Marxist. I'm so sorry, mate. The communists have taken over our universities. Mike, are you here?
I think so. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Right, great. Can I leave you guys in charge of the stream for a minute while I go and get another cup of tea?
Famous last words.
Yes, they really are. I'm trusting you. I'll be back in a minute.
Sargon's a cock.
I'm not gone yet, you shit.
What's going on, Doctor?
I've only recently discovered that you can put honey jack in Scrumpy Jack.
What the fuck? What's Scrumpy Jack?
It's cider. It's a really old cider. We've had it since like 17 something odd.
Oh, right.
And it has Jack in its name, and so does honey jack. And it only just occurred to me you can put honey jack in apple cider, and it works beautifully. I mean, why wouldn't it?
You know, so, you could even mix those two and then jack off in it. Probably wouldn't taste as nice, but you could do it.
Possibly not. The rule of sewage: a drop of wine in a barrel of sewage makes sewage, and a drop of sewage in a barrel of wine makes sewage. Not that cum is sewage. I'm not saying not that there's male toxicity in the air.
We're talking about lives, Doctor. What did you do to your bass trap? So everyone understands. If you don't watch Dr. Random Cam, he spent what I imagine would have been a couple of $100 on soundproofing.
No, it wasn't even that much. It's less than 100, like 60, 70 for the lot, because there was two sets, a blue set and a black set. And you had this beautiful bass trap up and these fucking sort of random like patches of acoustic foam, and then like a week later it's just fucking on the floor. Did you have that blue structure all fell down at the same time. I was just sat on my computer and I heard this weird noise behind me. I'm like, wait, I live alone. What could that noise be? Oh shit. The furniture's fallen down. Okay.
What did you put it up with?
It's spray adhesive. The very stuff they advised that you put it up with. But I don't think I pushed it in hard enough or something.
Yeah.
Or I don't know.
Yeah. How long did it stay up for?
A couple of weeks. I mean, you can sort of track it in my videos between mine and the rate. You can see when it went up and when it came down and all that shit. I just can't be asked putting it back up. It's going to be a nightmare moving out of here as well, because there's spray adhesive all over the walls, and I have to take one of those wallpaper strippers to it at some point to get it all off.
Yeah. The bad kind of stripper. And what else is news, man? What's how the honey badgers not going?
Good. Plodding along, changing the format every 2 weeks, just to try and keep up with what YouTube's doing. Its various avenues of fuckery, you know. Yeah. I'm halfway through your fucking video on what's his name? What was Anita Sarkeesian's cuck's name? I always forget his name, Joel or something. John McIntosh. Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking hell, he's ridiculous. He's got to have a go at fucking what's that fucking? I've forgotten the name of the show as well. What's the show about the geeks he had to go at?
The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
And that video got like 1 million views in like a week or so, and it's not the only one. Like I only went back to his channel like for the first time in ages the other day, and like a couple of his videos got over 1 million views.
Yeah, how's he doing that?
It's tempting to think that maybe he's bought this, but certain ideas just fucking spread. Evidently, he's better at this than Anita ever was.
Yeah.
Makes sense because he fucking wrote all of the scripts. Yeah.
Is it Josh McIntosh? Or
Jonathan McIntosh.
Jonathan McIntosh. Yeah, I downloaded it yesterday and it had like 1.2 something million views. 1.3 now. Fucking hell, that's ridiculous. 1.342. Fuck.
And it's weird that he hasn't had any. I don't know if he's had any copyright strikes for that, but he's using their footage. He's not using more than 20 seconds at a time. Yeah, apparently he knows that much. But if I was in charge of the Big Bang Theory, I'd be like, okay, they're using our footage to basically slander us.
Yeah.
But like I said, at the same time, they probably agree with the slander. Yeah, it's like, yeah, we are. We're hideous misogynists. Yeah. We're trying so hard. We're trying so hard to be better for you.
Thank you for setting us straight. He's had fucking 79,000 likes. Something doesn't smell right about this. I reckon these are bored. 79,000 people wouldn't like that.
I don't know. They say never ascribe to conspiracy what can be ascribed to incompetence.
I mean, he's calling the Big Bang Theory like a bunch of horrible misogynists. It's an innocent show. There's nothing. There's a couple of cheeky jokes in it. That's it.
Everything is misogynist, and you have to point it all out. Do you know this yet?
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah, what a tool. So, did you hear Sargon just informed us that Aaron Ra pulled out of this MythCon thing because he was triggered by Sargon?
Really? Fucking hell! I thought because there was a period. I think it was April last year. Was it? Yeah. Where a bunch of where he said something stupid about feminism in that live stream, and so a bunch of us did really long response. I did an hour-long response to it. I fucking hate that video as well. I watched it the other month, and oh god, it's so slow. Yeah, and Bane 666 had an actual chat to him like offline, and they actually
did too. Yeah.
Yeah, they found some common ground and shit, and I thought maybe he'd backed off of that whole thing now, but it seems he's still swimming in the Kool-Aid.
That's such a pussy move though. Like if you've got such a problem with Sargon's views, why don't you go there? I mean, if he's speaking, why don't you go there and tell him why he's a fucking idiot? They
tried really hard to deplatform him and Skeptic and Shu because they're going as well, but when that didn't work, when you can't deplatform the people you hate, deplatform yourself. It's all you got. It's all you got left.
Yeah,
see if it works, Aaron. See if it works.
That's pathetic, isn't it? It's pathetic. Hey, I want you to later on. I want you to have a read of this this blog we were talking about before. You know that Martin Hughes guy. You don't know Martin Hughes?
No. It's Martin Hughes.
Oh, you'll enjoy Martin Hughes. You'll bookmark him. Hang on a sec. I'll send you a link. Barrier breaker. He's an insane SJW who's got a blog, and this thing he wrote the other day was just a record breaker. He's progressively gotten more and more fucking insane. He did a stream with Christy Winters after the whole Charlottesville thing, and because he's a black guy, right? And so Christy's sort of being all sensitive. She's going, Martin, shall we get your views on Charlottesville? I'm sure it's impacted you quite a lot because you're African American sort of thing. And he goes, yeah, it was a real downer. It was my birthday, and I wanted a good birthday, but my birthday, it wasn't that good because Charlottesville. You fucking cockhead. Where are we?
My brother got killed and it ruined my birthday. Why do all the bad things happen to me?
Yeah. Martin Hughes. What the fuck are you? Fucking learn how to use links, cunt. Barrier breaker. Yeah, this blog is about should we belated blog post about should we punch Nazis? It's just I'd like to know if you're.
Are you sending links through in Skype because I can't see anything?
I'm about to. Yeah.
Okay.
I want to see if your brain can follow this. Read it and get back to me in due course. Yeah. So for anyone listening, it's called "Should We Punch Nazis?" and it's by the Barrier Breaker blog, a guy called Martin Hughes. It's fucking insane. But he also did one about conference to give anti-SJWs strategic platform in atheist community.
Yeah, I'm reading through it now. I'm trying to skim it and stuff, and look for I believe they're called hot takes. I'm seeing if I can find any of those hot takes they speak of. Nazis are so good at doublespeak and covering up that I don't know how many of them are, how many undercover enablers they have, or how quickly they could take over the country.
remember what ContraPoint said. If they say they're not a fascist, they're probably a fascist.
Yeah, the point that he had. The point that ContraPoint has under all of this is that they have to hide their fascist beliefs under these things because they can't come right out and say it because because the establishment will come down on them like a ton of bricks. Because the establishment is anti-right wing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they still keep holding this in their brain at the same time as, oh no, the left doesn't have any power at all. We're always under the boot heel of the right. And here's this motherfucker saying, neo-Nazis are so good at doublespeak.
Yeah. That was a dumb move. How ContraPoints did the whole Nazi get up, the Nazi, Nazis.
Especially while sitting there in a fucking Nazi uniform. I should send the police around to ContraPoint's house to say, oh look, you have some Nazi memorabilia. Oh, it's okay, it's just a joke. It's just a meme, bro. Yeah. I'm not a fascist. I know I just told everyone that people who are fascists tell everyone they're not fascist, but I'm definitely not a fascist despite the Nazi uniform. It's a long story. Oh shit, I'm in jail.
Yeah, everyone else who says they're not a fascist is a fascist, but I'm not a fascist. Let's have a read of this. Let's have a read of this article about Sargon's triggering people at conferences. Conference to give anti-SJWs strategic platform in atheist community. On Saturday, September 30th, 2017, several atheist celebrities will be at the 4th annual Mythicist Milwaukee Myth Information. That's too long a name. That's ridiculous. Mythicist Milwaukee Myth Information Conference. The more well-known names include Matt Dillahunty, Richard Carrier, Aaron Ra, who's pulled out. Has recently decided not to attend. His wife cites the reasons here. We're going to read that later. And Seth Andrews. Their presence at this conference is being well publicised. But the people coming to hear these people speak are not going to be disappointed because none of them are giving a talk. Which is weird. I mean, Matt Dillahunty, the one exception, will only serve as a moderator for a debate. He's not speaking. Who is? Well, a few YouTubers who have never really spoken at a conference, so far as I'm aware. YouTubers by the monikers Ahmed Skeptic, Shoe on Head, and Sargon of Akkad.
Misspelled Ahmed there. He spells it with the U because he's Canadian.
That's right.
Let's get some shit right.
That's a good spot. And then, in addition, the organiser Melissa Chen, who largely holds anti-SJW views, and there's a guy named Thomas Smith who isn't an anti-SJW, but he's just going to be interviewing Sargon of Akkad.
So boo to him as well.
Yeah.
Because you're giving him a platform. You're standing on this platform with him and asking him questions. Boo.
Yeah. No, never mind that the turnout at this conference is going to be like a 15th of fucking Sargon's daily audience. Why in a conference attended by so many shining stars of the atheist movement aren't any of the celebrities speaking? It's a simple mystery. Here's the clue. All of the speakers at this skeptic conference are anti-SJW, who for the most part haven't had a prominent voice on the atheist conference scene before.
How are they defining celebrity? Because Sargon or Shu or Ahmed all have way more fucking subscribers, way more celebration, if that's what you're going to call it, than Matt Dillahunty or Aaron Ra or fucking Richard Carrier. I'm pretty... Aaron Ra's got no more subscribers than me. Dillahunty's got I think he's got, because he used to have a fucking show on cable in Austin or whatever. I used to watch that show. It was oh god, I'm remembering things now.
What was his show about? Just atheism and shit?
It was a call-in show. It was a public access call-in show where they invited people to call in, and occasionally they'd argue with religious people, which was occasionally entertaining, but they disappeared up their own ass very quickly and never got anything like the numbers that Sargon or Shu or Skeptic have. So what the fuck is a celebrity if that's not?
I think it's just people that this guy likes.
You don't get to be a celebrity unless you have the right opinions. It's just like the blue checkmark thing in Twitter. It's supposed to be a verification that this is you, but it's not. It's verification that you have the right opinions.
Yeah. A bit of background. See, the three YouTubers speaking were not given opportunities to speak at VidCon 2017, the major YouTube conference. All right, so this is all a fucking jealous, spiteful thing because they weren't offered speaking role. I mean, did Sargon ever ask to speak at VidCon? I don't recall him doing that.
I don't know. Yeah. Where is he? Fucking get back here, Sargon.
I think he's definitely having a wank for sure. He's having a fucking wank. But
Well, we both have very sexy voices. He's only here.
He's probably sitting there fucking pulling off listening to us speak, fucking dirty bugger. Where was I? In spite of the fact that they are very popular on YouTube, they have been unable to cross over into a legitimate, respectable level of status. What?
People keep trying to deplatform them.
Yeah, but so a convention. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be fantastic. But a convention in fucking Milwaukee is now the fucking, is now the ribbon of fucking of legitimacy. Fuck off. Possibly because their views were considered disrespectful to marginalised groups, and the organisers of the conference didn't want to give those views a platform. Now that anti-SJW YouTubers have failed to gain legitimacy in the arena of YouTube, have failed to gain legitimacy in the arena of YouTube, it seems they need a stepping stone.
Again, I don't know how they're measuring celebrity, and I don't know how they're measuring legitimacy. I mean, they've had monetization taken away. Is that what you mean? Because that wasn't their fault.
Fuck me. Hey, so you can just imagine this guy sitting at his computer at home. He clicks onto Sargon's channel. It's like 800 million subscribers. He goes, no, illegitimate. Fucking illegitimate.
Yeah. Not worth celebrating and not legitimate.
Who's this fucking amateur? and honestly, the conference seems to be a way to give their views legitimacy in the atheist community.
They started introducing check marks in YouTube as well. I've seen certain channels have their little grey check mark next to their name.
Have they really?
Yeah, and Sargon's got one. Sargon's got a little grey check mark next to his username usually.
I want one. I fucking want one.
I fucking want one.
I mean, why else would you have these anti-SJWs who aren't known as much these days for criticising religion? Okay, speak and have atheist celebrities merely come to watch, acting as window dressing, than to give their more sideline views legitimacy.
Is feminism a religion? Is there such a thing as a secular religion? And if so, I reckon social justice has all the hallmarks of a religion, because it's not based on science. They claim it's based on science until science says things they don't like, and then science is going wrong and science is illegitimate.
If we're talking about fucking sexist glaciers, fucking science is 100% concrete, but fucking not oppression.
If you disagree with people and the only argument they have is fucking insulting you and shaming you and calling you names, so it's usually the hallmark of faith rather than reason. Ja mean.
Hey, did you happen to see? I only saw a little bit before. It's on my watch list. There was some sort of trans fucking rally or something recently in England where they started fucking beating up an old trans woman or something. Did you see that?
Oh, it was a clash of TERFs and transphilic feminists. I don't know what the word is. Is that what you're talking about? So
I think so. Yeah. That sounds like it could be. Did you watch that?
I think I saw some kind of clip of it on Twitter. Like, was it an old trans woman getting beaten up by TERFs, or an old TERF woman getting beaten up by trans women? I can never.
Yeah.
It's one of those.
Yeah.
What did I miss?
Oh mate, we made the show for you. This is gonna be gold.
You know, it just occurred to me, right, that I probably have a case for suing Christy Winters for defamation.
Oh, you must. Oh, but where would you'd sue her in Germany, wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, I'd have to. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'd speak to a lawyer. Obviously, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's very, very difficult to sue for defamation in America, especially if you're a public. Yeah.
But the thing is, I think it's blatantly obvious that Christy Winters is doing nothing but spreading misinformation in order to defame.
Definitely.
I mean, I think it's demonstrable from her actions.
Well, not doing nothing but that. She occasionally copies people's videos. Just puts them up on her channel. And if you're getting sued by Aquila, then
that's a good point.
Bearing, you've got grounds to sue Chrissy.
Wait, did she do that with you, Bearing?
Didn't you? Don't you? Don't you fucking watch one of my fucking videos?
She didn't even take 2 videos and clip it together. She just took one video, uploaded it in its entirety, gave it.
No, that literally is something you could sue over.
And 100% just put it on her channel. And I made a video saying, "You fucking take it down. I'm gonna fucking send you a copyright strike, bitch." And she fucking did. It was so funny to watch.
She did take it down as well. Of course, she did.
Yeah.
Legit, I think you've probably got a lost earnings case there, mate. I'm not joking either. That's literally what Akila's trying to sue me over, and I actually edited the video. You know, if Christy just fucking uploaded it wholesale, then yeah, you've got a case.
Yeah, definitely.
Mate, it'd be funny as fuck to make her pay you.
I'm not a big enough fucking idiot to fucking.
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't do anything about it either. But it's just like, it's because it just seems dickish, doesn't it? But you technically could do it, just so you know.
Oh yeah. You could give her hell if I wanted to. But I mean, a lot of people were saying strike her, Barry, and give her a strike, and I thought, no, honestly, I think it would be funnier, like it would be more entertaining to say, hey bitch, if you fucking take it down right now or I'm gonna fucking strike you, and then sort of make her have to make her
let her be aware that a strike's coming.
Yeah,
and so she has to take
so
action in advance. Yeah, that's funny.
It was fucking hilarious.
Hey Sargon, do you hate fat people? I'm hoping to meet you in Milwaukee, but I'm ashamed of my fatness. Dude, I'm a fat guy. What the fuck are you talking about?
You've trimmed up. How many
I've actually got a fucking running machine that I use. It was one of the first things I fucking got ages ago, and I've actually been using it.
What do you mean one of the first things you got? Since when?
Like, since when I started making money, you know. Because they're not cheap, are they? Fucking hell.
Yeah. So it's a treadmill sort of thing.
Yeah. But, like, you know, because, I mean, I did this for ages, and I didn't have, like, that much money, you know, and then, you know, and then the apocalypse happened, so fucking great. Honestly, isn't it just such bullshit that's still going? Because, I mean, people are like, oh, I'm seeing ads on your videos and stuff like that. It's like, okay, great. You know, I'm really glad to hear that. Why isn't it translating into anything behind the scenes? I don't sound like a bitch about it, but seriously, it's like, I'm pretty sure that Google has just found a way to swindle us.
Yeah, I've often sort of wondered about that, but there's other ways to make your living though. You don't.
Yeah, I know. I'm doing those things, you know. But the thing is, it's not. You know, people are very generous to me on Patreon, which I really appreciate, and so it's not like I'm okay because of that, you know. But before that happened, I didn't have that much on Patreon basically, and it was a lot more worrying, man. I tell you, fucking.
Speaking of the apocalypse, did you? Oh no, you fucking wouldn't watch. You don't watch any Kent's videos. Steve Shire's video on Friday, he does his you had to ask.
Yeah, I did. I watched. I watched his. Oh, there was something else. I think. Hang on, was it? I'll find out which one it was.
It was probably the one.
I watched one today.
The white supremacists run the White House or something.
Oh yeah, I did see that one. Yeah, I did definitely see that.
But this video on Friday, right?
Yeah.
Someone asked a question about the apocalypse, right? And what he thinks should be done to solve it and shit. And his answer, right? He goes, "Oh, look, I can understand them, demonetizing videos, but it's just that they're going with this blanket approach. You know, what they should do is they should hire lots of actual people to review the videos. It would cost a lot of money. It cost a shitload of money, but that's what they should do. That's the right thing to do to go forward, right? And then like 2 questions later, right? A question about fucking PewDiePie comes up, and they're like, "Oh, what do you think about PewDiePie saying nigger on his stream?" And he's like, "Oh, no, they just need to delete his channel. Just delete his channel straight away, because although he might be a fucking massive money earner for YouTube, and he might bring in the bucks, the only way to fix this is to fucking delete his channel, and that's how you move it." So within 20 minutes, this cunt's saying, hire a shitload of people, so you got like heaps more wages. And the biggest traffic spinner on your site, just delete him. You should be a fucking accountant, Steve. You fucking moron. Like, do you see how dumb that is?
Yeah. It's like oh, sorry, go on.
It's not as though it's a zero-sum game. If they get rid of PewDiePie's channel, it's not as if those 50 million people are going to go somewhere else on YouTube. They're going to fucking disappear and go somewhere else.
Yeah, presumably.
Well, yeah, I mean, I suppose there'd be mixed reactions, but a lot of I suppose he's got he'd have a lot of loyal fans, I reckon. If PewDiePie moved to another platform, he would make that platform overnight.
Well, yeah.
Exactly.
Someone's just like
PewDiePie should move to Johnny Fox's platform.
Someone's just like Crash Course made a class video. It's probably good. Most of their videos are pretty good. It was just the one calling guns, germs, and steel racist that was really bad. Honestly, that is just the most. There is not a racist interpretation of that book. There just isn't. It's fucking ridiculous.
There's a racist interpretation of everything, Simon.
That's true. That's true.
Including that sentence I just said and the next one you're about to say.
I was going to say, but I'm not a racist. And it's like, oh, that's what a racist would say, isn't it? Seriously, there was an article the other day calling me a suspected racist, and I was just like, that is the most amazing term. It's like a suspected witch, isn't it? You know, we think she's a witch. We're keeping an eye for any witchy business. Oh, got her! She's a witch. You know, like it. That's what it sounded like to me. Just like suspected racist Sargon of Akkad. It's like, oh fucking hell!
I did see that. What was that in?
Oh, that was Melanoid Nation, actually. Which it sounded like an alt-right blog, but from a black supremacist point of view. I mean, they literally called something degenerate. So it was just like Kekistan or something. They called something, I can't remember what it was, but they called something degenerate, and it was just like, wow, what am I reading? Why do these people sound so the same? Hey Sargon, what do you think of Andrew WK? Who's that? Is that a singer? I mean,
yeah, he's a metal singer, sort of party rocker dude who's quite big in the mid-20s, mid-2000s anyway.
Oh, the party hard guy.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah. Apparently he's got an IQ of something like really sick. He just awesome. Likes doing party rock. Yeah.
Good. Cool.
A bit like those porn star girls who happen to have like engineering degrees and they go, fuck it, I want to be a porn star instead.
Hardly blame them. I'm sure he's a nice guy. I've never spoken to him or anything, so I don't know anything about him.
I reckon he's probably cunt. I don't know him. He's probably.
Did you get a shout out by Phil and Salma? Salma.
I was waiting.
Oh yeah, I saw that. What the fuck?
Waiting for you to shut the fuck up and
oh, sorry, man. Jesus Christ.
I was gonna say I was waiting for you to breathe so I could jump in with that. Speaking of metal singers.
Yeah. Sorry, go. I'm sorry. I know. I'll go.
No, that's it. I'm done.
So, what the fuck, man? How does he know about you?
Because my videos are fantastic and most people watch them.
Oh, sorry,
it's
I don't know.
Like you're a celebrity. It's not like you're legitimate.
I don't know why. I guess I've still got the sort of underdog mentality. You know, I don't know. I didn't really think about it, but it's like you want to know how he found you, really, don't you? I mean, it's nice to know he's red pilled though.
It was on a hangout. You know Billy Bong?
I'm aware of the name, but I don't know anything about the person.
He makes good videos, Billy. He was on a stream with him, and I'm mates with Billy, so I was in the chat, and I said I'd tease Billy about something, and he said, "Oh, fucking Bearing's complaining about something," and Phil's gone, "Bearing, I fucking love Bearing." I fucking giggled like school.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Guardian wants me to read an article that he sent me on Skype.
The Guardian sends me good stuff.
Man gets penis stuck in weight at gym. Firefighters break apart the weights to rescue him.
Is that really what the article is?
That I swear to God, that's what the article is. Hang on, I'll send you a link. Fucking, what am I reading? Okay, so.
And gets body parts stuck in a way of the body part. I mean, come on. Now.
It is Fox. They are conservatives, aren't they? Probably still not. But, Jesus Christ! A grinder and a hydraulic saw.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, just don't fucking slip. Do not fucking slip. Holy shit!
Also, so he just put his knob through that hole in the middle of the fucking weight. That's what's happened.
Fucking. Jesus, that is. Oh god, that looks fucking precarious, actually, man.
Oh shit!
I wouldn't want any kind of power tools like that anywhere near my groin. Just accidents happen, you know what I mean?
Unintentionally.
Jesus.
It's either that or have it stuck in a dumbbell forever.
Oh, saying that, right? Look at this fucking one that I found earlier. This actually really pissed me off, right?
What's that?
Look at this. Girl 12 faces charges after sending a topless photo of herself to a paedophile online who groomed her, and she's the one who's going to get a criminal record for sending child porn.
Charges? What?
See, I'm not joking. You know, some guys groomed her online, got her to send a naked photo, and then the cops are going to blame her as if she's an adult. And
she's going to an adult, and she sent a nude photo to someone.
No, she's 12.
That's not a crime.
You know,
what do you mean charge her as if she's an adult? That's not a fucking crime if you're an adult.
They've been doing this with like young teenage couples for ages, like all over the so-called free world. If they fucking send each other dick pics and badge pics or whatever, then they're charged with distributing child porn because they're fucking underage.
Yeah,
now they're doing. I don't fucking hell.
It's ridiculous. It's like, look, no, you can't just condemn, like, you know, kids for doing stupid things with phones. You know, the guy is the criminal for grooming a 12-year-old and getting her to send things. She was coerced, she was persuaded, whatever. You know, it's obvious who is in the wrong here. You know?
She could face a child sex charge.
Yes, yeah. Against herself. Like, it's absurd. It's actually absurd, and I mean, like, imagine an employer just googling them when they're older. Oh yeah, blah 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 blah. Oh, child sex charge. Well, I'm not fucking hiring that person. They're not going to look any further into it. They're just going to see that it's there and go, yeah, get out. You know, and that's. I think it's
like
fucked
one
up.
step away from an honor killing, isn't it?
Basically, yeah. But no, seriously, it is fucking. I think it's really terrible. Actually, blame the adult for fuck's sake.
That's concerning. That's really concerning. That's bizarre.
Yeah. God, the chat's brutal. Seth Andrews tried to get Sargon Number Skeptic removed from MythCon. I used to support him and I attended a meetup, but if he's comparing Sargon to Kim Kardashian and use censorship, then I'm afraid I don't care to follow him anymore. I completely understand your opinion on that. I was genuinely surprised at the lack of skepticism Seth expressed about the stories he was being told about all of these people. Not just me. But what are you going to do? They're the real skeptics, after all.
Mm. The organizer of the convention has been pretty good. They've backed you pretty well, haven't they?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, they've been completely professional about it. Just completely professional. They're just... I mean... They said, hey, would you like to come and talk? We know it would be controversial, but that's okay. And they've stuck to their guns. Thomas Smith has been heavily pressured by the social justice clique to resign, but he hasn't, which is nice to see that he's shown some backbone. And I suppose part of it's also not wanting me to have a stage to myself, because I might say anything. It's like, you have to understand, I'm going to say anything whether you're there or not. In fact, I'm actually kind of glad he's there, because he can be the focus of what I'm going to say.
Well, they just feel that it should not be given this platform of legitimacy, so you can use it as a stepping stone to launch into something more legitimate after your failed YouTube career. That's what they think.
Yeah, I don't know what they think. I don't. It's like fucking. I don't know. It's just, why would you think? I mean, what interest would I have of going and talking to a bunch of atheists? Otherwise, you know, it's not. I mean, I don't believe in God, but that's as far as my interest in talking about not believing in God goes. You know, let's talk about something interesting. I just don't find the actual like theological debates that exciting. But
this line out of Martin Hughes' fucking blog post on this whole thing, just this one line. Now that anti-SJW YouTubers have failed to gain legitimacy in the arena of YouTube, it seems they need a stepping stone. Yeah,
okay,
I was asking.
When was that failure declared exactly?
Yeah. Did he? So he's imagine the process. He's jumped onto your channel. He's seen your sub count, your view count, and gone. No, not going anywhere. This cunt. Fucking.
thing is, I don't want to laugh. I don't want to be a dick about it, because if they would just stop making up shit, then none of this would be a problem.
That's not being a dick about it. That's being perfectly reasonable.
Well, yeah, okay, but like, you know what I mean. I don't want to. I'm not looking to really fight them. I mean, honestly, a lot of this is just like a desire to genuinely explain to their faces that we know what they're doing. You know, that we know what this is all about, and we know it's horse shit. I mean, like, they've got the most ridiculous narratives. They think we're alt-right, right? They think that we're misogynist, alt-right, white supremacists, if you're a Dan RL, for example. You know, but most of them probably just think that we're alt-right, which means we're white identitarians. And it's just like, this is just not a... And then these people are reacting hysterically. I mean, like, Seth Andrews called them the outrage brigade. And he's absolutely right. That's exactly what they are. And like, from an outsider's point of view, someone who's not emotionally invested in this whatsoever, if they would come in and look at all of the facts as they can most reasonably be concluded from the evidence that's online, they'd say, right, okay, so you have 3 people who are vaguely centre-left, 2 of them aren't that political, and they're sat in a room with people further to the left than them to talk about the controlling nature of the people who are further to the left of them, and the people who are further to the left are trying to control the space and get them deplatformed to avoid having that conversation, thus proving their point about the necessity of the conversation in the first place. And it's just like
fascist. You're fascist. You're
absolutely fascist. But to the outsider, it's just like this. I mean, there can't be people on the inside who genuinely believe these far left types are. I mean, they're the legitimate ones, are they? You know, why are you listening to these lunatics who want to deplatform people? I mean, at least, even if you don't think the centre-left guys are right, I mean, at least they're willing to have the conversation. It's the attitude and the actions and the things they do that make them so wrong. I mean, I don't care if someone holds regressive beliefs, as long as they're not going to force them onto me. Same with religious folks, you know, I consider those beliefs regressive. If you don't force them onto me, I don't care. You know, believe whatever the fuck you like, as you said earlier, you know. But these people can't do that. And so we have to specifically go there under this hail of metaphorical slings and arrows and actually, you know, sit down in a hostile environment and then explain to them what they're doing wrong. Because they're so fucking arrogant as to not even want to admit that maybe they're not perfect. It's like, no, fuck these people.
You know what the good thing is, though? I mean, not many people are in fact listening to them, are they?
No, that's a good point.
They don't really have fucking audiences of any size.
Well, that's true. That makes the legitimacy argument a bit like, all right, if you want to go down that road, you know, we're going to have to start measuring dicks, aren't we? And I don't like dick measuring. It's crass. But do you mind if I read a few super chats just before they disappear and stuff? So Seth Andrews has tried to get Sargon, I'm a Skeptic removed from MythCon. I used to support... Oh, no, I read that one. Sorry. Deus Pole Vault, $14.88. Thanks, Deus Pole Vault. Has there ever actually been an example of a purity spiral in history along racial lines? Because as far as I can see, that's your only argument against the alt-right. Yeah. The fuck do you think Nazi Germany was, dummy? What? Have you ever... You don't know? Okay. Hey Sargon, I'm about to record a meeting with University of Missouri. Do you want the audio and video? If it's good, if they say anything that's if it appears that the conference is being completely dominated by social justice rhetoric, yes, please. Because I mean, if it's just like a normal thing and they're making normal decisions that aren't fueled by the white supremacy or anything, then there's not much point, because it makes it sound like the University of Missouri isn't crazy. But I'm guessing that A, it's Missouri, and I know something about Missouri, and the fact that you offered makes me think that you know that something I don't. But yeah, sorry, were you going to say something before I start doing that?
Yeah, we want shots of the Titanic going down. We don't want shots of the Titanic just sailing.
Well, basically, yes. Well, I have time constraints. I have to choose things that are pertinent. I can't just like go through everything. Things that are not relevant. Oh, that's useful. Saying that, I don't even know. Oh, sorry.
You know that you can go to the community bit of your back end on your YouTube thing to bring up your super chats so you don't lose them. If
yeah, good point. Yeah, no, that's a good point. I will do that.
I didn't know that until
No, it's really useful, isn't it? It's the Democratic Socialists. Have any of you been assaulted by crazy religious folks? No, I don't live north in England. What about you guys? Have you ever been assaulted by crazy religious folks?
I've never even encountered a crazy religious person. This is one of the reasons I do what I do, because, you know, I went through my angry atheist phase as well.
Yeah.
Talking about religion and shit.
Yeah.
But never in reality have I come across a religious person who gets pissy in an argument. I've had arguments with them, but they're generally very polite, and they listen to what you have to say, and then they have a counter-argument, but it never gets, you know, ridiculous. And then start talking about social justice, and people in defense of that will completely lose their fucking minds and become the stereotype that we had in mind for religious people, but was never really true for them. Now, obviously, there's, you know, other parts of the world, you know, perhaps, you know, the southern states of America, or some really fucked up countries where religious people are the worst kind of social justice warriors they have. But in Britain, I've never seen anything resembling a shitty religious person. You know, I think they know they're losing the argument.
Yeah, I think so. So Sargon doesn't like dick measuring. He'd prefer to do something more productive, like wanking. Well, it is more productive. Sargon, do you know if Mythcon are going to or you are going to make videos of the event available online? I think there will be video, but I don't know.
Do you reckon anti-Photoshop protester?
Nazi Germany wasn't an actual purity spiral as far as I can tell, says Deus Polvolt. They gassed the Jews, but they never started gassing less white people. They gassed a lot of people. It wasn't unique to Jews. And it wasn't just the gassing. I mean, the gassing is just like the end result. Like, what they were doing to these people. Entirely a purity spiral.
Yeah, there was gypsies and they were putting...
You know, millions of Polish people died under Nazi occupation and stuff like this, you know. They saw them as like the Untermensch. It's literally like subhumans.
And that was just the bottom rung, remember? It wasn't just a top rung and a bottom rung. They had, like, I don't know how many rungs it was, but it was Uber at the top, Unter at the bottom, and about 6 other different categories. Obviously, they started with the Untermensch, but the purity spiral means they would have kept going up the rungs until there was nothing left but Aryans.
Yeah, I mean, look, guys, at the end of the day, right, if you're going to argue for Nazism, don't try and make a moral argument for it. Don't try and, like, say, oh, well, we think this is the right thing to do. Say it's necessary. It's the only way. I mean, there's no other justification for it. And I don't think. And
look at the way they treated like Russian prisoners of war in comparison to Western prisoners of war. The Russians were starved just in the middle of fields and that with barbed wire. Yep. Like there was clearly they clearly ranked people for who they were or what they were.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they thought like the British and the French were just like a higher class of culture, I guess. But yeah, it's just there's no moral argument for Nazis, I'm afraid. Do I watch the channel Historia Civilis? Yes, I do. Not as often as I'd like, though. I like Baz Battles more as well, I've got to say. Baz Battles, does anyone else watch those videos?
I don't know. What are they about?
They're basically just a really, really well animated and very accurate, well, you know, good accuracy on them. Overview of an ancient battle, like, you know, the battles during the Crusades and things like that. Yeah, they're really, really great video.
Sorry, what's it called again?
Baz Battles, but Historia Civilis is also a good channel. It is a good channel.
Yeah, nice.
Man, I tell you what, I swear I've got this fucking fantasy that one day we will finally have broken social justice and I can actually do something else with my life.
Like, yeah. But every now and again it looks like they're sort of slowing down and you sort of think, oh, that's maybe we're having an impact, or maybe they're just puffing out. But then something else just like even more ridiculous than anything that's happened before happens, and you go,
we're definitely coming to the end of it. I mean, we're definitely making progress. So
yeah, but what do you mean the end of it? I mean, because social justice warriors are just fucking idiots that try to impose themselves onto your lifestyle. I don't think they're ever going to go away. They might change their arguments.
Well, it's more that I think the same thing will happen with that happened with the Christians. They lost the sort of cultural impetus and the sort of moral majority opinion, they turned out not to be the moral majority. They turned out to be a whiny, moralizing minority.
Are you talking on YouTube? Are we
oh no, I mean just in general, in real life. But
there's still a shitload of Christians though. They still
no. For example, like, you know, like at the moment, if they bring a film out, the papers all will critique it from a social justice perspective. This doesn't pass the Bechdel test. This has not got any women in. This has not got any black people in. Blah blah blah. You know, I don't know. You know, whatever. They'll go off and they'll try to publicly shame these people over these things, and it's just like there will come a time where that doesn't happen. You know, where nobody cares how many men, women, or non-white people or white people or cis people or whatever, they will tell stories that are good, and these stories may well involve these things, but they won't be focused around representation like they are. People won't care, you know, people will be free to make what the fuck they like. There won't be, and I mean, these people will always exist, but no one will read it, no one will care, you know, the studios won't respond to it. It'll be understood that this doesn't represent a majority of the moral majority. And I'm really certain that's what this is. The sort of those dynamics.
Well, the social justice invasion of the media is a symptom of the social justice invasion of academia.
Yes.
So once we're going to fix this outward symptom, and then it's going to look like we fixed it, but there's still going to be the training camps. I mean, you can't. We can do away with the terrorists in this country, but as long as the training camps still exist in Pakistan, we're going to have a problem.
Well, you say that, but like the training camps for Scientology,
social justice warriors are in every university across the Western world.
That's true, but if you make it uncool,
beat them out of the media, they're still going to be there.
Yeah, but
that's the next step.
Yeah, but it is definitely the next step. But the thing is that will be done in the sort of larger cultural blow of making social justice uncool. And we didn't even really have to do that much. I mean, I tell you what, feminist cringe compilations have done so much for the cause of anti-social justice, I can't even begin to describe. You know, just demonstrating these people for the cringy, controlling psychos they are is... I mean, there's all well and good us doing, like, you know, breakdowns and all this sort of stuff, you know, like, and actually having, like, philosophical conversations about it. But it's like, the cringe compilations are going to be red-pilling normies left, right, and centre.
Yeah. You know, you're speaking of the Bechdel test. Do you reckon a porno exists that passes the Bechdel test?
Two women talking to each other about something other than a man. Yeah.
Lesbian porn.
Yeah, lesbian porn. Yeah.
Passes the best. What?
I said that they could be talking about sex toys or something. It doesn't necessarily have to be a man.
Deus pole vault's got another one. From what I can tell, they killed most of the Poles on the grounds of being Catholic. Yeah, that's part of the purity spiral. They weren't pure enough because they were Catholic. I don't have any defense against the treatment of Russians, other than that was mutual. Yeah, but man, it's not the right way to do things. It's just not. It's not a winner. It's not necessary. It's not gonna. It's not gonna work. I'm a gypsy and I got called a Nazi by an SJW. Yeah, dude, they called Ben Shapiro a fucking Nazi. Ben.
Did they actually call him?
Oh yeah, he's been called a Nazi loads of times by these fucking loons, and it's like he's a little Jewish man. He's a little Jewish capitalist.
And he wears a skull cap. It's like a fucking it's a neon sign that he's Jewish. For fuck's sake.
I swear the reason he must do it is just for like signalling, but well, no, because you would have to. If you had some sort of minority status, if you're criticising people who rely on minority status as a weapon, then you'd have to signal it. I mean, you've got to. Otherwise,
they're coming in. Maybe we should all get skull caps.
I mean, they're just we're all Jewish now. The alt-right bloke, we do it! I've
been doing this for ages. You can say you're a gay Jew and no one can prove you wrong.
That's true.
As long as you're vaguely sort of dark-haired and you're prepared to suck a dick.
But the whole thing, it just annoys me. The whole thing is it's a war. They declare a war. I mean, do they wonder why they have enemies everywhere? I mean, wherever they go, they manage to find the misogynists. They're like inquisitors, just like
but surely, I mean, they enjoy it. They enjoy it.
Oh yeah,
they like being.
Christy Winters is loving this war. She thinks she thinks getting people to pull out of MythCon is a good thing. She said this in her video. She's very pleased that they pull out, and it's like, okay, but that's just you damaging their conference.
Yeah.
I'm glad I got to damage the conference. That's awful, Christy.
They mentioned in that blog post earlier that the organisers are supposedly anti-SJW. Is that right?
I have got no indication from them that they are against social justice. Like I said, our interactions have been entirely professional. So I don't. I mean, maybe. I assume that they're trying to take a politically neutral and objective stance because they are the organisers of a conference that isn't meant to be ideological. Or at least not politicised in the way that it's being politicised. I mean, being politicised against religious people, fine, you can understand that. It's an atheist conference. Yeah. But, like, being politicised in gender and race, it seems bizarre for me, for an atheist conference. What's the reason for it? And obviously the only reason is social justice.
Yeah.
It's,
and you.
yeah. Honestly, just... calling Ben Shapiro a Nazi, like, he's the opposite of a Nazi. You have to know literally nothing about the Nazis to think there is anything vaguely similar to them. Because I mean, like, he wants no government intervention. He's very libertarian in that way, and that's the total polar opposite of the Nazis. He doesn't want identity politics. The total polar opposite of the Nazis. You know, he doesn't want government control of the economy, which is the complete opposite of the Nazis. It just shows such a detachment from reality, or that they just don't care about the word Nazi. It's just delegitimization rather than actually taking into account what any of these things actually mean.
Yeah,
it pisses me off, man.
but he's right wing.
That's true. He is right wing. He's not far right though, and even if he was far right, that doesn't make him wrong. It just means it's a position you don't like. God, it's just tribalism. I'm so tired of hearing. Like, someone just asked in a super chat. Let me just get up. What do you think about the idea that Nazis are technically far left, and do you agree with horseshoe theory? Okay, well, the left and right dichotomy is actually really worthless. It doesn't. It's just tribalism. That's all it really is.
Look, the Nazis are on the far. They're on the far top left of the far top right. It's not just four different windows. Each window has its own different thing. Thatcher is further right than Hitler. This has been part of the of the whole spectrum diagram for decades now. If you look at Thatcher and Hitler, Thatcher is far on the sort of middle right of the top right because he's highly libertarian and slightly authoritarian. But Hitler is right at the top, but on the left of the top right square.
Yeah, could not be more authoritarian.
That's why we call them nationalists, but socialist nationalists.
Yeah,
they're the socialist version of nationalism. Hence, they're the top left of the top right.
And that was literally their selling point. That's how they managed to win the election. Honestly, I was reading about it. Like the nationalists were basically like old conservatives, and they were fighting in the streets with the communists, and they defeated the communists basically. But everyone was forming gangs and blah blah blah. But the Nazis literally did appeal to both groups on those grounds. Oh, we're nationalists. Oh, we're socialists, and they drew in members that way. And it was everyone.
I don't think they actually won the election. They won a good percentage, but I thought.
Well, no, they got like 37%. Let me find it.
Yeah, they formed a coalition with someone else, and Hitler became chancellor, and then.
It was it was a coalition with the. Was it a coalition, or I assume it was a coalition.
I thought it.
But they were definitely very closely connected with the traditional Prussian conservatives. Let me find it. I'll find it.
And then when Hindenburg died, he basically just
the irony
himself.
Yeah, the irony of it was that they thought they would control the Nazis in exactly the way I guess the Republicans thought they'd control Donald Trump. I'll find it.
Jeez, I'm getting sick of how fucking everything's. Donald, 8-year-old boy, fucking. He's supposedly hung on a tyre swinging fucking some bumfuck town. Symptomatic of Donald Trump's fucking reign. Fuck, everything's Donald Trump's fault.
They really do give Donald Trump more credit than he deserves. A lot of it was literally just the fact that we just it's just someone to stand up to you guys, basically. Like he's a bad tool, but he's the only one we've got.
What did you think of Hillary's book campaign?
I haven't read Hillary's book yet, but
no. I didn't suppose you did. But you surely you watched the interviews promoting the book and that.
Yes, I have watched a bunch. I'll find this later, but yeah, it was the Conservatives they needed to get them into power finally. But anyway, yeah, like Hillary's campaign has been amazing, hasn't it? It's everyone else's fault but mine. It's like, Hillary, we read WikiLeaks. that's what happened. People read WikiLeaks, and they told each other what was in WikiLeaks. And they were like, "Oh shit, I knew she was bad."
Yeah, I'm just amazed that she thinks like either side of this fucking election, it's just been my vagina. It was I vote for me, I have a vagina, and then it was they didn't vote for me, I have a vagina.
I love that. You know, I think it was something to do with me being a woman, and it's like, Hillary, that was so far down the list.
Yeah.
She was paid, I think it was $14 million in advance to write this book, which is completely dwarfed by what she was by the money that was pumped into her by the mass media to try and get her to win the election. So she's got all these people sort of hanging on her words. So the last thing she can say is, "Sorry, it's my fault. You wasted $1 billion." You know, she's got to go with it's everyone's fault but mine. Sorry.
But it's so pathetic, though. You know, it's so pathetic. It's like, Hillary, I don't think there's ever been a politician in history who's had more universal backing than Hillary. I mean, like, who wasn't on her side? The only people not on her side were complete fucking losers, basically. People outside of the power structure.
Yeah, and she goes on about how it was always going to be impossible for a woman because it's just people don't see women as the president. It's just not a thing we think about. Bitch, you were an absolutely legitimate candidate. Everyone was convinced you were going to win. Yeah. But you mentioned Donald Trump even winning the fucking the run for the Conservatives, and that was laughed at. By John Oliver and by all these fuckhead celebrities, a year before the election. That was insane. And you're saying you were the legitimate one, you fucking idiot, and you fucked it up. It's simple as that.
And it's literally just because you're totally unlikable as well. That's what it really boils down to, I think. I think people could have overlooked the corruption if you were charismatic, but you're not in any way, shape or form. You're fucking loony. But I should probably read some of these super chats because I've missed a bunch. So I like Vernaculus's approach, having a set of labels, detailing opinions rather than being wholesale left or right. Yeah, I don't really care about the left or right anymore. I'm more concerned about the philosophy that they're following. I think that's more important. The tribalism has become a problem, and I'd like to move beyond it. Do you have any hope that rationality will win out in the end? Do you think we're winning or losing ground since Trump's election and Brexit? I think we're winning, actually. I mean, when I say winning, I think we're gaining ground. But yeah, I think there's a consistent gaining ground. We just need to be addressing the most important things.
But what's this winning shit anyway? I mean, there's been fucking idiot human beings since human beings first existed. I mean, what do you mean win? There's going to be more fucking idiots that come along.
Yeah, but they won't be these idiots. The problem with these idiots is that they're really well educated, and so they make effective arguments, which is why they've got so far.
Who do?
The SJWs. If you look at their sort of academic arguments, they're not convincing to people who would be rigorous, but they're convincing to people who don't know any better, and so it's just like it's snake oil, and so they spin out this yarn. I mean, I hate to bring up Anita Sarkeesian, but she seems like the perfect example of this, where she says, "Oh, I learned to think in systems." Is that okay? And now you're only thinking in systems. It's not that's a lens that you've taken. Now you can use that when you need to use that. Now it's the only thing you use, and that's the only way you analyze the world. And so she comes out with a one-sided view of the world. What a surprise. Yeah. And that's what I'm talking about. And that's something that it's not that they're not saying certain things that aren't true. It's that they're saying a lot of things that also aren't true, but some things are true. Like the whole gender is a social construct. That's a true statement. It is a social construct. Now once but they start from the presupposition that people are just blank slates and are completely just that there is nothing there, and then we construct that on top. That's not true. But they don't say that when they say gender is a social construct.
Yeah, and what annoys me is they'll say gender is a social construct, but then they'll sort of conflate gender and sex in the next sentence. They'll sort of skip between either.
Same with like whiteness. They'll say, "Oh, we're not talking about we're not talking about the people. We're talking about the social construct of whiteness." It's like, yeah, but then why do you say white people are bad?
When we say definitely all fucking white people, we don't mean all white people. We mean the idea of whiteness. Jesus.
Exactly. It's like, oh no, we mean like, and another thing I love. Oh, did you know that 400 years ago the United States had a racial category called white? It's like, well, I think they probably still do, but I don't think it's what they're actually making decisions on now. So you bringing up something that happened 400 years ago is not really that useful to the present day conversation, is it? And there's never any end to it, is there? They're never going to be like, okay, so we have done enough at this point. You know, I mean, it's just going to keep eating itself. I mean, you saw the Black Lives Matter people shutting down a gay pride parade, right?
Oh, really? When was that?
Oh, did you see that? Oh, fuck, I'll find it.
I didn't see that. No, I didn't see it. Why did they shut down a gay pride parade?
Because of the progressive stack. Gays are lower than black people. That's why.
Well, and the black people weren't happy about that.
Yes, I'm not joking. I'm not joking.
Let's see this. What about you know, something I noticed with the with that 8-year-old kid who I don't know what happened. I fucking wasn't there.
Here we go.
You know?
Right, it was the Seattle Pride Parade. I don't think this is the only time that it's happened. Right, let me I don't think it's the only time this happened. Right. So yeah, Black Lives Matter shut down Seattle Pride Parade. Fucking why? Protests for it's just protests from the Black Lives Matter movement shut down Seattle's Pride Parade Sunday. They blocked the road for 1 minute for every year Charlene Lyle was alive. I don't know who that is. The 30-year-old was shot and killed by the police after they say she refused to put down a knife last week. Yeah, okay, what has that got to do with the Pride Parade? Lyles has caused the police report.
How are you guys feeling about that black and brown stripe now? Are you glad you put it on?
Yeah. Just it's eating itself. This whole movement, and the thing is, right, there is absolutely zero fucking chance in hell the gay people who are like, you know, standing behind or whatever are like, we're not intersectional, we don't care about black people. They're never going to say that. They're probably Black Lives Matter supporters themselves. It's fucking it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, that 8-year-old boy who allegedly got lynched. Isn't it funny? I watched a whole bunch of videos yesterday by people saying, "Oh, that poor little black boy was lynched by white kids." Yeah. He's as fucking white as toothpaste. He's like Michael Jackson. He's biracial. And what's the bet if he'd have done it to someone else, to a black kid, it would have been white kid lynches black kid.
Oh yeah. Someone said they also shut down the Toronto Pride because there were gay cops at the parade. I think that was one I was thinking of, actually. But so they've done this multiple times as well. This is just going to be a pattern because it's completely baked into the ideology. It's like, well, if you're not promoting or doing activism for black people, and gay people are lower on the progressive stack, then you're being irresponsible. So we get to take over. And it's all power play. It's all about controlling people.
Is there? How do they all fucking? Is there any consensus on this progressive stack though? Is there a fucking chart? Is there a dynamic chart on the internet that updates itself?
No. As far as I can tell, it just seems to be done by consensus. I mean, I've seen articles that say gay people aren't oppressed, so they're removing them from the progressive stack, basically, or like putting them on the same level as white men.
Yep.
And so it just seems to be done.
So when they say you're not making a difference by talking on the internet, you're adding to the consensus. These people have no definitive answer.
Yeah,
so if you add to the overall consensus, you can actually change their minds. You can reduce this progressive stack to just nothing, where we treat all people the same even though they're different. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Do you know what I love about them though? Is they literally treat black people differently to white people. I mean, that is literally what they do, right?
And that's literally kind of racism.
It's annoying, isn't it? I can't think of anything more condescending. It's like, oh, my poor black friend, tell me about your lived experience. It's like, why can't you just treat him like you treat anyone else?
And it's like a condescending fucking, You know,
Yeah.
I've got to baby you because you're a poor downtrodden black person.
Yeah, poor oppressed black person
poor
who's
you.
got soft feelings and can't like be an adult. It's like they're not children, you lunatics.
But we're the racist ones.
Yeah, we're the racist ones. Yeah. This is the thing. They're racist. They've just got a really guilty conscience. I think that's what it is. They're benevolent racist. Fucking these people. Sorry, I'm just reading the chat. I should read some super chats actually. Did McCain lose because he's a woman? Yes. Good point. There was no respect for women. Man, I tell you what, I've got to get PewDiePie on at some point. He just doesn't want to cause trouble. And it's like, dude, you're already in trouble. What do you mean you don't want to cause trouble? You're already fucked. What the fuck are you going You said the word nigger on a live stream. There's no coming back from there.
He knew he was in trouble the second he said it too. Just that smile. He's got, oh, this is going to be fucked.
Yeah. It's like, dude, just, you'll be okay, I think. And people will support you if you just tell them to go away. You're not interested in their opinions, and that you don't have to be rude. Just say, look, I'm not bothered about your morality or your moral judgment.
I don't care about you.
Yeah, literally. Have you read the 48 Laws of Power? Yes, and I recommend it. Robert Greene, in fact, anything by Robert Greene. It was a fantastic read. I actually, it was years ago. I read it. I was going on to I don't know, my mate's it was a skiing thing for his bachelor's, and I fucking hated skiing, but I remember listening to an audiobook going up around these mountains in Andorra or something, and I've never been skiing and I'm not any good at it, but it was really great scenery, and so I've got the sort of great image of it burned into my mind. I don't know, it's helped me remember it. It's a nice memory. Just talking shit now.
Is that where you got the cigar photo taken? Is that
yes. Yeah. The one time I've been up a snowy mountain. Yeah, I've climbed Ben Nevis and Snowdon in Britain, but the hard way as well. But I've never.
You've climbed what? You've climbed what?
2 mountains in Britain.
Britain doesn't have mountains. You mean hills?
No, they're legit mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're probably nothing compared. Australia doesn't have any fucking mountains.
We've got fucking awesome mountains, cunt. We've got the best mountains.
You're gonna.
You got a big scary rock right in the middle of the country.
Yeah.
I've never trusted that thing. Like,
Yeah,
why
but
is
it's
it there?
flat.
There's no tectonic reason for it to be.
It's a bit out of place, isn't it? It is a bit out of place.
Let me look up average elevation of Australia. I bet we're fucking kicking your ass here. Oh. You are just...
Is it impressive?
No, you get fucked. I never looked this up. Shut up. Yeah, to be fair, Australia does have a larger mountain. Ben Nevis is 1,343 metres. Australia has one 2,228 metres.
Yeah, because of the Oscar.
But your average elevation... Oh, get fucked, you cunt.
To be fair, I have never climbed it.
I can't believe Australia just cucked us on elevation.
I expected it. I've never climbed it though, so it's quite impressive that you've climbed.
No. To be fair, it's 1,000 meters higher. I mean, fucking. And I tell you what, climbing Ben Nevis is not fucking easy either. Because
it's like climbing two of your hills, basically, in one go.
Yeah, basically, it was tough. By the end of it, I was absolutely wrecked. It's just I mean, I was at the top. I got great phone signal as well for some reason, so I called my mum. It's like, Mum, guess where I am?
That's random. Jesus Christ.
The thing is, all I did is made her really worried. It's just like, I could have been more thoughtful about it if I thought, but I was just excited to finally be at the top and call my mum. Snowdon's bigger. Snowdon isn't bigger. Ben Nevis is the biggest in Britain. Ben Shapiro wrote an article with the same argument as Richard Spencer, but for Israel. Transfer isn't a dirty word. Also, tell the other guy Aryanism is bullshit. There's pole vault. That's incidentally your comment he's talking about. And he has one. I'm not defending the Nazis. Fascism is un-American. But I've never considered the Nazi regime to be a purity spiral, more of a misguided last stand. Hitler didn't ever want to gas the Jews at first. I don't think you've got a correct reading of history on that, my friend. I think you need to read a bit further on that. Looking forward to MythCon. I got VIP tickets last night, so would you like a beer on the 30th? I would probably love a beer. I'll probably need one by the end of that. But it's nice to see that there are people coming who are favourable towards me. Because honestly, I'm looking at it thinking, shit, man, I'm going to be looking at a hostile crowd here, aren't I? You know.
Yeah, no, because as I said, these people who are dragging you through the mud don't have audiences. You do. Yeah.
That's true, but they've been dragging me through the mud to a bunch of people who aren't necessarily their audience, but, you know, are fairly neutral on the subject. I mean, most of them don't know who we are, so...
Yeah, look, people have got brains, though. I mean, I don't think it'll take too much. If you're really interested to find out whether Sargon's actually the world's
you could
greatest
easily
cunt,
look it up.
It doesn't take too much digging to find out that you're not.
Whatever you do, don't go and sit in the audience quietly.
Trust me, I'll be finding myself some garbage humans in the audience. I would love it if, like, Christy Winters turns up in the front row. I would absolutely love it if that happened, because I know what she'd be thinking, and it'll just be like, Christy,
blow her a kiss, give her a wink.
Oh, that's not what I was thinking, actually. Shit, maybe she would be thinking that. But she'd be thinking she's being oh so clever, and I'd just be like, Christy, I'm expecting you to be there, and if you're not there, I'm going to be very disappointed.
And just casually go, oh, hi, Christy, nice to see you here. Thanks for coming.
Yeah. Oh, I would be absolutely polite. Nice to meet you, Christy. You looking well? Lost some weight?
She'll fucking hate it. That's it. She'll fucking hate it.
So, what are you doing about a meetup? Why don't you make a patron Discord so it doesn't get filled with porn? Good call. Where you dislike Patreon rewards? Yeah, I should do a patron Discord. Really, I hadn't thought about it. I just busy thinking about the work. I guess it's not a bad idea though. I'm all down for a patron Discord. I probably should do something like that. Sorry, Zante, I see you've sent another one. I'll read them both out. What do you think of Google demonetizing non-political, tame yet popular channels like vlogs? Could it be a question of revenue at this point? Yeah, I honestly think that it is not really the political issue that is the problem at this point.
Yeah.
I think that this is being done because YouTube is not a profitable platform.
They've shit themselves, and they need ways to save money because they don't have the money to pay people. It's really simple.
Yeah. From what I can tell, they killed most of the Posmic. Okay, I've got to the ones I'd already read.
There's a class action, isn't there? There's a class action going on with some YouTubers in America, isn't there? Against YouTube. Yeah, Jaworski mentioned it.
I'm not aware of it. I haven't seen anything about that. How can Australia cuck you on elevation? Europe is higher on the map. Oh, checkmate, Australians.
That's it. You
didn't think about that, did you?
Creators who lost revenue during Adpocalypse seek class action, July 17th.
Oh, really?
Who's it? World's top video star James.
Look for me in your garbage human shirt. I will do, man. Are you ever going to come to Canada? I'd love to meet you. Maybe. Wouldn't rule out going to Canada. Debate Mike Enoch? No, I'm too busy debating his wife on social justice.
Who's Mike Enoch?
The alt-right white supremacist guy who was like, oh yeah, I hate the Jews, the leftists, and then it turns out he's married to a Jewish SJW. So it's just this guy who's just bitching about his wife online, basically. And it's just like,
are they still married?
No, literally though, I think it broke up his marriage because he deliberately left her because of the alt-right, and it's just like, wow, you wrecked a marriage. Something to be proud of.
Jesus Christ.
Merc, fuck's sake, is that Bearing? Yeah, he's a cunt, isn't he? He gets everywhere.
I have a cunt, that's fair.
Nah, it's cool. I'm gonna send Smart to PewDiePie with you giving him the red pill. You'll get him. I hope so. Oh, I think with PewDiePie, it's a lot more like he doesn't want the drama, and it's like, dude, I think they're going to come and give you it anyway. If I were you, I'd be firing back. Just fuck them, seriously.
Either fire back or don't fire in the first place. Just ignore it. Like, but I wouldn't have made that apology video if I was you. Yeah,
I mean, if at the very don't just ignore it. Just pretend it's not happening if that's the case. Just show them contempt and disdain as your numbers continue to grow.
Yeah.
You know, it would just be funny, and it will infuriate them as well. I've been to the top of Mount Fuji, 3,776 meters. Fuck, very tame climb, but amazing scenery. All right, okay, maybe that would really help actually, because I tell you what, man, going up Bennett, we went up the fucking rough side of Ben Nevis. It's just rubble. It's like, you know, a proper fucking climb at points. Same with Snowdon actually. Big recommendation if you ever visit Japan. I will definitely take that under advice. You should promote Minds.com wire service for your monetization to placate Patreon haters. I need to speak to Bill Ottman about it so I can get the sort of lowdown on it and do a video, because I don't actually know anything about it.
I need an update.
Sorry?
I need an update from him as well. Like, apparently he put out a thing saying that you were a big earner on Minds. He was saying you're cashing in. Is that
I haven't received any money from Minds yet.
Oh.
Hang on, so there are wire transfers, and let me check. Yeah, so I've been wired 34 times, and I have $1,000, which is nice. Thank you for whoever's donated. I don't know how to claim this though. That's the thing. So I need to speak to him. I'm sure that it's not going to be a problem. Obviously, I just don't know.
I didn't know how to claim my Google AdSense until like a month ago, shortly after the Peterson thing happened.
Really?
I'd best go check that. And,
haven't you been on fucking YouTube for years?
Yeah, but I didn't start monetizing my videos until October 2015, so 2 years ago. Yeah.
Right, okay.
So then everything was just free.
2 years ago is alright. So you must have had a fucking tidy sum in there.
Yeah, a decent amount. Nothing compared to the Patreon, which is why I've never cared about Google AdSense, because I knew that it was a pittance compared to what I'm getting on Patreon. Thank you very much, patrons, if you were listening. You make it so I've never given a shit about ads. I never will.
Sorry, yeah. Good luck to these two guys. Whoever this is. Let me. Boom. Right. So creators who lost revenue during Adpocalypse seek class action lawsuit against YouTube. The Adpocalypse has a dramatic effect on the revenue streams of James Sweet and Chuck Mayer, Arkansas-based creators behind Zombies Go Boom channel. Let's have a quick look at Zombies Go Boom. That sounds quite entertaining, actually, I have to say. Are they just blowing things up that look like zombies?
1.6 million subscribers. That's a decent channel.
Sorry, I'm just watching this thing. Okay, let's get to the zombie kill.
Zombie Go Boom.
Are you watching the
mind-blowing video from Zombie Go Boom?
I was just watching a bit of one. Yeah, sorry. They couldn't see it. They're on Skype. Okay, well, good luck to these chaps. So they're suing YouTube in hopes of revealing the mechanics of the company's brand safety algorithms. That'll be interesting to know, won't it? Holy shit! So yeah, honestly, best of luck from my opinion. From my position, that's just...
Yeah, because the Warskis were saying that they tried to join it, but they couldn't because they're in Canada. It's
okay. YouTube has a duty to disclose with detailed specificity and complete transparency the terms by which content is selected or deselected for monetization, reads the complaint. Failing to disclose this essential information to content providers along with maintaining unilateral control to change of terms and conditions which govern the payment received by content providers for their creative work is anti-competitive, harmful to the creative market, and also a breach of good faith and fair dealing. Bravo. That sounds like a compelling argument to me. I like the sound of it. It's only because I'm a content creator, probably, but you know. A big obstacle in the lawsuit and the terms of service. Yeah, they probably do have it in the terms of service, but okay, well,
yeah, but I mean, if it's anti-competitive, I mean, I'm sure there's acts in America that you know, outlaw anti competitive behaviour and that sort of thing. So even if it is in their terms and conditions or their policies, it doesn't. You can't make an agreement or a contract that overrules an act. In other words, you can't contract outside the law.
Yes,
the act will always take precedent.
Yeah, so, sorry, I got a bit sidetracked there because Ritualist asked me if I can mention his Pathfinder campaign, which is tomorrow at 8 PM British time. Yes, I can.
What's Pathfinder?
It's like D&D.
Oh.
And yeah, Guardian, thanks for sending me through that thing, man. How about the legislation protecting Google from the SJWs? All responsibility on the uploader. Only then will hosting sites be free from policing. I think that's basically what YouTube have been doing with the DMCA thing. Oh no, they're the ones taking responsibility for it, aren't they? No, I've got that the wrong way around, sorry. Can you read my last comment? It was right off the pink one, also $10. Oh, thanks, Super Chimp. I'll try and find it. Hang on. So I'm looking through the super chats, not it. Let me find it.
There's some interesting articles on this site.
Yeah, not tube filter.
Tube filter.
I'm afraid I can't see it, Super Chimp. It's not for want of looking. Sorry. I guess the chat doesn't hold that many.
If you go to your Creator Studio.
Yeah, I've got that up. But I thought it might have been a comment that he'd left in the normal chat. But, I don't know. Super Chimp, just put a comment in the normal chat and I'll look out for you. Right, how about legislation protecting Google from the SJWs? All responsibility. Yeah, we've done that. You should start using Streamlabs instead of Super Chat, so Gulag can't take your shackles. Also, please make a Discord. Okay, I'll make a Discord, but I haven't got any time to monitor it. That was the thing. I don't have any time to mediate or curate it or anything.
Yeah, other people do that for you. It's cool. Other people sort of put their hand up, so you just get other people to do it.
Okay. You missed my last message. I was super pissed at South Andrews for withdrawing. I thought I read that, man. Please read my Facebook messages. I think some of my ideas will help. Right, here, let me check that I have your Facebook message. I'm sure I do. I hate to say it, but I get a lot of messages. I'm not.
Yeah.
You know. I think I found you. Why can I not open up the user? No, goddammit, Facebook. Sorry, feel free to talk about whatever you
Do you get much traction on Facebook? Does that do much for you?
Yeah, quite a lot actually.
I never liked Facebook. I should jump on it. What was your take on what's his name on H3H3? Do you reckon he was a bit hypocritical?
What did he say? Oh right, yeah.
Oh, he's tirade against Pewdie. He's saying it's just wrong to say nigger. But you know, he himself had gone on a bit of a fucking not a rant, but just he was saying it out of like a sort of a joke on a stream with fuck, I always forget his name, another tuber, a couple of months ago.
I didn't actually see it, but I mean, he's entitled to his opinion.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't see making a big deal out of it is a big deal though. I don't see him saying it as a big deal. I mean, he wasn't calling a black person a nigger, so I don't see it as a crime.
See, H3 sort of doubled down in the last couple of days and said, yeah, but what did he say? He said, yeah, but he was saying it out of frustration. He was saying it in annoyance, you know, and I was saying it as a reference or a joke or something. That's pretty piss weak. Yeah, exactly. Pewdie wasn't calling a black person a nigger. He was calling a fucking video game a nigger, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, he literally said it was the worst thing I could think of. Yes, and he wanted to just say the worst thing he could think of.
And it's not even like it's the worst thing you can think of. It's such a pervasive word at this point. If you listen to anything fucking Hollywood does or anything the music industry does, it's like an Australian saying "cunt."
Yeah.
They're not actually talking about a vagina or anything involving women or misogyny or gender at all. It's just the word that everyone grows up hearing that's just thrown around in the heat of the moment. So it's and nigger has been trying to become that word for ages. Unfortunately, we're not allowed to let white people say it. So it's supposed to be a word a bit like cunt is for Australians, but we refuse to let it happen because of white guilt. I mean, fucking.
No, that's exactly what it is.
I was watching I'm pretty sure you watched the Britisher Sargon. He did a video yesterday where he's gone. He's just flat just said nigger a heap of times, and his British accent makes it sound so funny. And he's gone, I'm saying nigger because I can't stand people saying the N-word. It's so cringy. I agree. I think he's right. The N-word is just
you know what you're talking about. Just say the word. You know what you're saying. I mean, the idea that there are forbidden words is just baffling to me. Like, you can't say that word. It's like, why? Yeah. It's just a word. It's just.
Imagine you're saying it to a child. Imagine you're talking to a child. And you say the C word. Like, does that protect the child from whatever power the word has? No, because it's putting that. If the child knows what the word is, then it's putting that word in the child's head. If it doesn't, then I go, what do you mean the C word? Cunt. Oh, I see.
Yeah, we're adults, are we not?
Yeah. He made a good point though. He's gone. He said, if I was to refer to Adolf Hitler as Adolf H, would that somehow make it less offensive to have me refer to Adolf Hitler? That's a good point. No, of course I wouldn't.
Yeah. Right, Super Chimp wanted me to shout out his channel. I just had a quick look. There are a bunch of channels called Super Chimp, so I'm not sure which one to promote. But
it's only just occurred to me that the new N word is Nazi.
It is too.
Every time I hear the N word, I'm going to think of the word Nazi. Oh, is that what you're talking?
Yeah. And that's just confusing. Which N word? Which N word?
Have I seen Knuckles' Pathfinder game plays on Tuesdays? I'm sure it's really hilarious, but I just don't have the time. This is the thing. There's loads of stuff that I want to keep up on, but I just can't. I'm surprised Shu isn't in the chat. She's almost always watching these kind of streams. When I Sargon, Thick Daddy and Shu leaving for MC. Depends on what happens in Berkeley. Depends. Let me see if I've got any information about it, actually. So you guys carry on while I look this up, please. Feel free to talk about.
Hi guys.
You've got nothing. What kind of entertainers are you people? God.
Yeah, come on. Doc, I was relying on you, man. I'm lighting smoke. Come.
I'm too drunk for this. Leave
Isn't that a prick when you jump on a stream and you go, was this the right thing to do? I remember Sargon invited me on a stream to fucking criticise Anita Sarkeesian, one of Anita Sarkeesian's gaming videos.
I would never.
And I was so fucking stoned, and I don't give a fuck about gaming. I don't care about gaming. I ended up fucking falling asleep.
So Mike, what's going on with the International Conference on Men's Issues?
I think the next one's going to be in Canada. I've only heard talk of it because there was one in the USA, one in the UK, one in Australia, and the whole movement's pretty big in Canada, and we haven't had one there yet. So I guess the next one's probably going to be in Toronto.
Right. Okay.
That's the capital, and it's it's the feminist hub of Canada, and Canada is the feminist hub of the English-speaking world. So that's going to be super interesting.
Oh, is this in 2018?
Because I don't know for sure.
Is this 2018? Is it or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last one was at Gold Coast.
Yeah.
In sunny Oz or wintry Oz as it was at the time.
Mm. Hey, how's Doge going? How's his health like? Is he?
He's good. Yeah, he's doing his chemo rounds, but he's still running along with the job as well.
Yeah, good. Yes, yeah. When you speak to him, give him my regards.
Will do. He's probably listening. Hi, Brian.
Hello, Brian. Yeah. Well, I better jump off.
We've got the trial coming up, by the way, in
You
December.
got the what?
We got the trial coming up in December.
Oh, right. That's the one in Canada about the convention or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Oh, the Gamergate one.
Because given all the weird shit we keep seeing happening at conventions, it's good to know that there's someone out there setting a precedent. You can't just lie about people and chuck them out, and then carry on lying about them to justify chucking them out.
Yeah, that will be interesting.
You never know when that's going to happen again.
I think I got an idea. When's this Milwaukee thing going down again? Yeah. I better fuck off, guys. I got a video I got to finish. So
Cool.
Thanks for having me on, man.
All right, take it easy, man.
All right, cheers.
Thanks for coming on, dude.
Cheers.
To be fair, I should probably call it a night. I mean, it's coming on 11:30.
This one's been going on for ages, isn't it?
Yeah, I've just been. I haven't. Is this the worst stream in the world? I'm not doing anything. Like, I'm just bullshitting. 3,500 people are watching us bullshit. It's nice that everyone's joined us, though. I've got to say.
Comment in the chat, and that brought me into the conversation.
Yeah, everyone should. You should all go and subscribe to Dr. Random Cam's channel, though. Okay, yeah. I was speaking about you earlier. You were saying earlier the other couple of videos ago, you felt lazy for doing like a response video in your normal format. And it's like, no, they're good videos. You do good work when you're doing these videos.
It's just that I went to the trending tab rather, because usually I take requests or I'll really look into what I should do. But this time I just went to the trending tab and looked at things. But like there was 4 different ones about Charlottesville, so it was just begging out for something.
Yeah. No, I liked your one to Robert Webb. That was good.
Yeah.
The thing is, I feel bad about him because, like, I don't know, for him, this is clearly a deeply personal problem, and it's something that he's obviously struggled with, but that's for him, I
know, and I tried to sort of walk on the broken glass obstacles.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah,
sort of get to what he's trying to say to other people, because you can't necessarily project that onto
I wasn't trying to criticize your tone.
Boy. And I know it's an ironic title, how not to be a boy, but it might as well be how to be a boy.
No, I wasn't criticizing your tone or your delivery or anything. I was just talking about my own opinion, really.
I'm just talking more bollocks that I thought about it. Because I respect the guy, he's fucking Dick Chicken Caesar, one of the greatest characters of the millennium so far.
Yes! Honestly, the Citizen Kane of comedy. But no, seriously though, I love Digby Chicken Caesar. There's a compilation. If anyone doesn't know what we're talking about, just search for Sir Digby Chicken Caesar compilation on YouTube. You'll get every clip of it through this sort of like clip show, just spliced together, and it's amazing. It's an epic tale of drunken violence, theft.
Reminds everyone of their student days.
yeah. So, love your work. Nothing quite like hearing about all the ridiculous things going on. Mind giving your take on that terrible Cuphead gameplay video? Did you hear about this, Doc?
I did. I saw it, yeah.
Did you hear about the philosophical argument surrounding it?
It's like watching a child play a video game.
Yes.
And fucking, I read something Takahashi, is that his name? He wrote something about, when he mentioned something about Warhammer being a rip-off of something that appeared 10 years later. And his excuse was, well, I don't necessarily do research.
Really?
I just walk into a room, see a product, and talk about what I think.
Lunacy.
Yeah. Journalism that's not backed up with research.
I love their arguments.
It's not journalism.
I love their arguments about the Cuphead thing, because it was just like, I can't play video games, but I don't have to be able to play video games to be a games journalist. It's like, okay, but what you're really saying is that you're a historian or an anthropologist or something like that. You're observing a phenomenon you personally cannot take part in because you're terrible and you refuse to take any time to learn how to play video games. And it was the same with the Doom trailer. Just like the worst. Just literally like someone who's never played a video game before. It's like, look, you can't. Video games are an interactive medium, and I know exactly why they can't fucking understand their audience. Is because they literally can't share in their experiences at all. There is a subjective experience to playing a game, and if you can't play the game, you can't enjoy the game. And if you can't enjoy the game, you can't tell people whether the game was enjoyable or not. All you can say is no, because I couldn't play the fucking thing. That's no help to anyone who's looking to know whether it was an enjoyable game to play. You fucking morons, Go and do an academic study of games in universities if you want, if that really matters. But holy shit, it is no use to the gaming public at all.
Is it any wonder that folks like this like games where all you do is press X to move to the next panel of
but no, press X to move to the next existential crisis. Like, okay. That's great, but I really wanted to kill some zombies. I'm not saying it's an objective desire. I'm just saying that's what I want. Just wanted to say hi since we'll never meet. You never know, Nick. I might come somewhere near you. I generally tell people where I am so they can come and see me if they want to.
Who says this doesn't count as meeting a IRL level rate?
Yeah. Any sketch requests from your others, says the Ritualist. How's that figurine serving you? The figurine's on my bookshelf over there. It's front and centre, actually. Thank you. I actually should, I don't know, do something with the art you gave me. You printed me out a bunch of art and gave it to me at the meetup, and I've got it on my on another shelf over there. I should put it up or something. In fact, I could. I've just rearranged my office, and I'm not even happy with it. But I'm going to stick with it for now because I'm lazy, and it took me all day to do. I'll tell you what, my fucking desk is heavy. But I could actually, I could have stuff on the board behind me here. Actually, take advantage of the fact that I have space to display things.
Me and the story of my acoustic phone. It only takes 5 minutes to put it back up, but it's still just strewn across the.
I have better things to do. Man, I'm looking forward to playing Magic with Jeremy from Magic the Gathering headquarters. I think he's renamed it actually now. But I haven't played Magic in years because I just haven't had the time. It's the sort of thing that you need to put time into. And so we can sit down, have a few beers, have cigars, fucking just chill out because we're both sick of SJWs. It's like because he has to deal with it in Magic. They've taken over Magic, obviously. I'm sure it's only a matter of time until they ruin it. Did you see the Reason Rally? The last Reason Rally.
Well, was the last one this year?
Reason Rally.
I think I saw shots of it last year. I was already dying on its ass. What's it like this year?
Let me get the images up. Let me get a big one. There we go. Right, let's get it.
Watching Channel 4.
Right, okay. That's the wrong direction. I need one from the back. So to give the best comparison, I want to give the same angle, but I can't seem to find one. Right, okay, that'll have to do. Right. I'm just going to share my screens with you with Doc, so you can see. Let me know when you can see it.
If you're putting it up in the stream window, I'll be able to see it in 30 seconds. I don't see anything just yet. Do you watching Channel 4?
Take it you can't see anything.
I can't. Have you sent a link in Skype?
I'm screen sharing on Skype.
Oh shit! Screen share. Yeah. Sorry. I'm an idiot. Yeah, I see the big crowd.
Right. So this is the Reason Rally from 2012. There's a bigger version. You can see it's like all the way down the reflecting pool, all the way around the back, and then sort of like stretching out back towards where the speaker is. There's a large number of people there. Right. This is from 2016. This is about, I don't know, about a third of the way up the reflecting pool. I can't.
I'm taking the shot that ends right where the crowd is.
Yes, yeah, it's the opposite direction, unfortunately, not from the memorial, but it's like I mean, you can just see how small this is in comparison to what they had, and it's just like, Jesus Christ, you guys have fucking, you've just whittled this away. You've just, I mean,
what happens when you try to defeat collectivism with another kind of collectivism?
Yeah.
You're doing it wrong. The most ruthless collectivists win, and you're not the most, well. You're pretty fucking ruthless, but you keep squabbling amongst yourselves.
Well, this is just the problem. They don't seem to understand that, like, all of the purity testing and all of this. I mean, what's their objection to us going there? Oh, well, then we don't think they're morally correct. Okay, I don't care whether you think I'm morally correct. What I care about is, the philosophy that you're operating by, because it's causing you to do bad things. So what happened to Count Dankula? I don't know yet. I haven't had an update on that. Did he get locked up? Also, I'm one of Mike's patrons and sent him a message. Will you ask him when he might get the chance to look at it? Thanks. You need to check your messages, Mike.
Okay. What's his name?
John Stevens. Robert Browning. Have you heard from the college Republicans at UTEP? I went to the last meeting in April with Vernaculus and others. I don't think so. $10 because you play Magic. Best game. Thanks, dude. And yeah, it is. I really miss Magic. Man. I was one of those guys who could never play net deck. Never in my fucking career. As a Magic player, I would never even consider it. I make my own decks, and that's the fun of it. Ask the doc when he's going to debate Mr. Massacre. About what?
I don't like duels, darling. Debate me.
Well, no. You should debate him. What are you debating him about? That'll be interesting.
I poked him about the autism thing, and that sort of fissioned a few things.
Well, why not debate him on it?
Because it's a joke. Why would you debate someone about a joke?
Well, I don't know what's happened, so I didn't. Yeah, well, it's just bants then, isn't it? What's the debate?
Yeah.
Merck says, think about an impromptu shitlord meetup in Milwaukee. Thoughts? I think it's probably inevitable. Since we're going. Nick Palladino, that's a cool name. Just want to say hi. Since oh no, that was really good. So, looking forward to MythCon. Will it be first time in Milwaukee? Yes, indeed. I hear it's very beer gardeny, which is good. My face when I never got any real reparations. Just stayed pissed. So stupid words, gangster rap, and their own porn genre is reparations instead. That's woke. Yanis Corn Mickey has finally gained access to the internet. Love your work. Why do you... You're such sons of bitches. B Hill 68 says, what do you call a 5-year-old with no friends? A Sandy Hook survivor. It's too soon, Bill. I'm surprised Shu isn't in the chat. She's almost always watching these kind of streams when Saga... I know we've already read that. So. What's an anagram of ginger? That's a clever one. I like it.
When are the ginger people going to get recognition?
Yeah.
They've been oppressed domestically.
Yeah, they legit are being oppressed. When is Cyberpunk coming back? I'm planning to start a D&D campaign soon. Just been busy, as always. Just I swear, I feel like I don't have anything to show for all of the work I do. It pisses me off. I mean, I have been making videos, haven't I? It's been a while since I thought about it. It feels like it's been a while since
you make videos faster than normal people can comprehend.
No, I don't make them that fast.
Well, between your various channels, you do.
Well, that's because I work all the time. I just... I do spend time with my family as well, but like when I'm not spending time with my family, I don't spend my time like relaxing. I spend my time working. This is why I can't wait to quit. I can't wait until the war is over. You know? I don't want to be doing this in 10 years' time. Not that I don't like doing what I'm doing, but you know what I mean. I'd like to have moved on to something that's less stressful, less personal, maybe something more a bit, I don't know, history related. That'd be nice.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have a channel like Lindy Beige's.
Yes, wouldn't it?
Where you just talk about the things that you're just passionate about, that aren't really political at all. Why don't we just do? Oh yeah, because this is a fucking emergency.
Yeah, exactly. It literally is because it's a fucking emergency. It's actually... I love the fact that we actually have enemies. I mean, like, I'm not interesting enough to have enemies. Like, I just don't get it. It's like, why... Like, you don't know me and you dislike me. How is that possible? Unless someone has told you something.
Well, look, you know, social justice warriors are our enemies. We've pretty much declared that. And, you know, I want to listen to Hitchens again. If you don't think I'm your enemy, then you don't know an enemy when you see one. So we've pretty much declared our enemies, and they're going to declare us their enemies.
That's true.
But they're going to declare us the alt-right when all they are is not alt-left. You know?
Yes. I'm glad we've got the term alt-left as well. Definitely use that. They don't like it.
I tried to introduce control-left. I swear I was one of the first to try this job. I did it in a tweet.
But it's the alt.
Alt-right didn't work. Control-left didn't work. How about we try turning it on and off again?
No. It's the alt, because they'd spent so much time demonising the alt-right, and it's not the right part that they can really reasonably demonise, because the Conservatives are still a big force. So it's the alt. That's what they use. That's the term with the power in it. And then you call them the alt-left, and they realise the power's being turned back on them. The negative implications of it. The word alt makes you sound like a fringe loon or something. So yeah, I have been making videos. That's good. It's just honestly, man, my fucking life. Yeah, man. I tell you what, I've got such good ideas for like history podcasts when this is done. I've got like 4 books on the Cathars that I've been planning to turn into a podcast or series of podcasts, because there's such an epic story there. And I'd really like to. I'd love to do Dan. I'd love to Dan Conley and get really into the nitty gritty of like the people and their lives and what they thought, why they thought it. You know, what they believed, how they felt about things, as much as we can recreate it. You know, to try and really give a good understanding of what's happening. Really get into it, and not just because you know. I mean, I'd like to do that for myself, and it would be nice to make podcasts out of that. You know. But no, I have to argue with people who hate me instead. Tiring. Right, okay, so I think I've covered all the messages. And apparently now YouTube's telling me I don't have any super chats. That's not good to know. Oh no, wait, I know why.
It's the algorithm.
No, it was me being an idiot. Right, okay. Are you calling a gorilla pit because I want to drop baby into you? Oh no, are you a gorilla pit? Sorry, his name was Calling, and I read that into it. Are you a gorilla pit because I want to drop baby into you? Ooh. See, I have to read this out, Jaffa. Thank you. Would you debate on YouTube? Yeah, of course. Love how I made a vid about Magic the Gathering being infested with SJWs before you and Jeremy. Yeah, you guys get eyes on it. Sorry, man. MTG subreddit has also bombed that vid too. Right, okay. I'm not surprised, by the way, that they wouldn't let it get a stand. Any comment on the culture war infiltrating comics with SJW creators hating fans? Yeah, it's killing the comic industry. And it literally is. I mean, you're aware of this, right, Mike?
Yeah.
What do you know about it?
The comic industry?
Yeah.
Not a lot. I mean, I work with a lot of people who are into comics. I'm into sort of animation stuff, which is sort of, but the conventions are where we see it bleed into. When they start trying to remove fiction is where you know it's gone too far. That's the step before book burning. I've already seen the book burning taking over from the invading.
Honestly, I think it's gone too far when
or get burned.
Literally, look at this link. I will send this to you so you can see what I'm seeing, because this is just like Marvel executive says readers don't want diversity. I mean, that couldn't be any more clear, could it? You know?
Yeah, that's not what readers say, is it?
It's not what people who don't want to be castigated by SJW say.
I don't know how shrewd of them it is to put diversity in quotes.
Well, yeah.
You put it in quotes because that's not what they said. They don't want this thing that you call diversity.
Yeah.
This thing that you call redistribution of
social influence. That's
fucking attention economy.
But but that's exactly what it is. It's what they call diversity. I love this. It's like what we heard is that people didn't want any more diversity. They didn't want female characters out there. That's what we heard, whether we believe that or not. It's not what you heard. That's honestly not what you heard. What they were saying is they don't care, and they don't want people who care calling the shots. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's not people who can't play games calling the shots on games.
Yes. But and they don't care about games. They care about the number of women who are in the game or what's happening to the women in the game. What? I have a copyright strike?
What?
Oh, motherfucker.
What for?
So, a clip of Antifa. I don't know, it's just floating around on Twitter. Oh my goodness, right, okay.
Were you on any already?
No, not at all. Well, that's annoying, so enjoy the last stream on this channel for a while.
Oh, for this channel? Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, god damn it.
I suppose you've got a separate channel just for streams, haven't you?
yeah, I was just doing this bullshit stream since we were here. But why the hate on the Cathars? They were just a run-of-the-mill Gnostic cult. Oh, I don't hate the Cathars at all. I just find it interesting the way that they had completely delegitimized the Catholic Church through ideology. It's not hate on them at all. They were probably unbelievably lovely people, which is why the Catholics couldn't convert any of them to Catholicism. Only a gamer can call another gamer, says Merc. Good video, that, by the way.
Yeah, it was a cover of a Tim Minchin song.
Yeah.
That's the what's an anagram of ginger joke, but done quite extensively and musically.
Sorry, I just need to fill this thing out. Yeah, past copyright school. Oh, goddamn. Doesn't expire till December. Apparently it hasn't taken away my ability to live stream. So that's odd. Hasn't taken away my ability to live stream. Thank you, YouTube. I appreciate that.
It's a whole new, different kind of strike.
Okay. Oh, thank you. I appreciate the magnanimity there, YouTube. Yeah, if you like historical fiction, read the Sky Stone. I do. I just don't have time to read things that are fiction at the moment. When do you think the world will finally realise what kind of political correctness fuckery it has involved itself in and purge itself from this lunacy? By the time that it's causing real problems. Like severe problems, rather than just the bad ones we have now. We're at the beginning of the collapse that it will cause, I think, and it's really important. That
wasn't real political correctness. Real political correctness has never been tried,
and that's probably something similar to what they're going to say. But yes, I'm over political correctness completely, and I think most people are in general these days. I think the people who are trying to enforce the orthodoxy are increasingly finding themselves in the minority on the argument. The
only option for recruiting more people is to go even crazier.
Yes.
That only recruits a smaller army of people each time.
Yes. And we have to wear them down. I haven't updated the Arc server in 2 months. That's true. I haven't. I'm sorry. I'm pretty busy. I will. I should. What I should do is shut it down and restart it. But I haven't had time to play it. I guess. Sorry. I should set someone else in charge of it. They're all after the entertainment Thrones of Influence. Game of Thrones, they're talking about, I assume. When we begin making our own stories for a new tomorrow without this gayness, we win. Yeah, producing media is important. Really important. Producing content that's good, that is informed by a worldview that isn't dominated by social justice is good. And it will inevitably be superior to ideological propaganda. I'll be praying for you. Thanks, Samuel. I don't think it'll do any good, but as long as it makes you feel better, I do not mind. Jade Rabbit Futurist. Can you suggest that people write vote in a max government wage and no lobbyist cash on the backs of currency and select qualified humanitarians as leaders like Doctors Without Borders, renewable engineers? Sounds a bit Plato-esque to me, I'm afraid. What do you think?
I don't know. I've always wondered what I think about Doctors Without Borders, because it sounds like a good idea, but the Without Borders thing, leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Now that the Without Borders thing has such a bad taste on it, but it's just a name, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure then.
Fairly reputable charity.
Yeah. Right? I'm sure. As I'm aware, they're just international aid group. So yeah. I don't think that they're necessarily globalists, but they might be.
Yeah. Because doctors probably shouldn't have borders. I mean, the whole Red Cross thing is that no matter which country you're in, don't fuck with the Red Cross because they're definitely not trying to fuck with anyone. They're trying to heal people.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So it's coming up to midnight. So yeah, I'm gonna don't send any more or anything because I'm tired and I need to call it a night. But Doc, thanks for joining me, man. It's always nice nice to speak to you.
Yes, always a pleasure, never a chore.
Yes. Are you coming out to America at any point? Are you coming out to Milwaukee or Berkeley?
When are these things happening?
They are happening in, I think the Berkeley one is the 24th and Milwaukee is the 29th and 30th. I think I'm speaking on the 30th.
Of September?
Yes, yeah, this month.
Crikey, that's short notice. No, probably not.
No, that's short.
Like posting things is short notice. That would be mental.
No, fair enough. But yeah, anyway, yeah, thanks for joining me. And thanks everyone for watching and donating. I appreciate it. And I will speak to you all soon. I will undoubtedly have a video about these Nazi-related topics when I'm finished with them. Honestly, it'll probably been about a month because I want to read Wages of Destruction before I do it, and I want to read Mein Kampf before I do it as well. I was going to read Mein Kampf next, actually, but then I realised that I'd probably end up reading it on the plane. I'll be stuck on a plane for 12 hours or something.
It gets confiscated, yeah.
Yeah, stuck on a plane for 12 hours just reading Mein Kampf and smiling at people. But it's a shame because I'm actually... Sorry, go on.
You know when you translate it into Arabic, it means jihad.
Yeah, I know.
Carries on reading.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be brilliant. But so I'm going to have to read something else. I've got the Dialectic of the Enlightenment that I need to read, and that from the Frankfurt Schoolers, to understand what their position was. And so I'll have to read that instead. I think doesn't look very interesting, but it looks necessary.
That's the critical theory, right? It looks suspiciously like where all this shit came from.
Yes, that's what I'm reading it for. To see if it is. I suspect it probably is. And yeah, so I have to go through all of this. And I just wanted to play video games.
Rather you than me.
I just wanted to play video games. That's all I ever wanted. Just be left alone to make my crappy video games and play crappy video games. Just be left alone. But no, now I have to fucking read postmodernist philosophy. Just kill me.
I'm lucky. I just wanted to make cartoons and guitars and guitar music, and fortunately that only takes a week to make for each project. Games take fucking months to make. You chose the wrong profession, bro.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, speak to everyone later.